Chapter 1103. Feng Wan arrived. Hehe General Hai. It's better for you to take your subordinates and scram back. Jin Qingyuan's eyes were filled with coldness when he saw Tsunami Sky attacking the array formation. He didn't give any face at all and shouted in a low voice. Scram back! Scram back! For a time, the people of Holy Sea Town who were standing on the city wall also shouted at Tsunami Sky, and the army of ocean cultivators with disdain. Good, Holy Sea Town. Tsunami Sky revealed a furious expression. His chest heaved up and down continuously. It was obvious that he had been greatly angered by the scene in front of him. He was the general of the army of ocean cultivators, an expert at the profound void realm. He was a well-known expert in the entire Star Moon Kingdom. Anyone who saw him would have to be respectful. Now in a small town, he was humiliated, and even insulted in front of his subordinates. This was the first time he had encountered such a situation. The soldiers behind him also had ugly expressions. The Ocean Cultivator Corps was ranked in the top 5 in the Star Moon Kingdom Corps. Now they were humiliated in front of a small town. Was it so easy for the Ocean Cultivator Corps to be humiliated? General, let us attack together. Anyone who offends us must die. A burly old man raised the huge axe in his hand with a furious expression and shouted, "All right, attack. I don't believe that a small array can stop the ocean cultivators." Tsunami Sky shouted with a savage expression, "Yes. Get ready. Attack." The old man holding the huge axe had a fierce look in his eyes as he ordered loudly, "Attack." Over 10,000 soldiers of the Ocean Cultivator Army launched an attack at the same time. Each of them even released a divine ability. In an instant, a terrifying energy condensed in front of the city gate. Tsunami Sky also raised the huge sword in his hand, and his whole body shook slightly. Dharma Idol Heaven and Earth, Sky-High Sword. The void seemed to shake slightly, and a 100-meter-long shadow appeared around Tsunami Sky, holding a huge sword that was at least 1,000 meters long. The huge sword slashed toward Holy Sea Town. Dharma Idol Sky-High Sword. When everyone in Holy Sea Town saw this horrifying attack, their faces changed slightly, and some of them turned pale. Boom, boom, boom. The attack of over 10,000 ocean cultivators landed on the array formation, and the attack of a tsunami landed on the array formation. The sound of cracking could be heard again, but what shocked them was that everyone's full-strength attack still only broke 2 arrays. Hiss! This made everyone in the Ocean Cultivators Corps suck in a breath of cold air. How is this possible? What array formation is this? How can it be so powerful? The soldiers of the Ocean Cultivator Corps sucked in a breath of cold air, their faces filled with shock. Even Tsunami Sky's expression was extremely unsightly, his gaze flickering as he looked in the direction of Holy Sea Town. The array formation that Lord Wang took out is so awesome. Haha. Our Holy Sea Town will be incomparably safe in the future. That's right. Lord Wang said that this array formation can withstand the attacks of a rank 3 profound void martial artist. And the Star Moon City's defensive array formation can only withstand the attacks of a rank 1 profound void martial artist. Then we don't have to worry about being attacked by ferocious beasts anymore. On the city wall, everyone looked excited when they saw this scene. Despicable human. All he knows is internal strife. That human expert entered the void interpretation realm before him. I'm not his match, but that human can forget about killing me. In the sky, the leader of the blood barbaric demonic beast, who had been hiding for 2 days, stared at the spot below with a flickering gaze. He did not show himself. Don't even think about breaking through the city defense formation of Shanghai Town. Wang Xian's voice rang out. He looked at Tsunami Sky and said faintly, "Buzz." Tsunami Sky raised his head abruptly and stared at Wang Xian. "You killed my son." He growled in a low voice, word by word. "Your son deserves to die." Wang Xian stared at him and said faintly, "Crack, crack." Tsunami Heaven's arm, which was holding the huge sword, let out a crisp sound. He stared at Wang Xian and slowly closed his eyes. "Since your Shanghai Town has betrayed the Star Moon Kingdom, I hereby sentence all of you to die. Don't think that a formation can protect all of you for the rest of your lives. Tsunami Heaven opened his blood-red eyes abruptly, and his majestic voice reverberated throughout the entire Shanghai town. Get lost! Jin Qinyuan roared furiously when he heard his words. You, Star Moon Kingdom, still have the face to say such words? Get lost! The people on the city wall also followed suit and shouted angrily. Tsunami Sky stood there coldly, and his expression gradually became ugly. He couldn't break the city protection array, so he had no way to deal with Holy Sea Town. Was he going to let a small town separate from Star Moon Kingdom and become independent? If this were to spread to other cities, wouldn't it be a huge disgrace? A town under East Sea City had rebelled and become independent, but in the end, there was nothing they could do. Wasn't this a slap to the city lords and Tsunami Sky's faces? Tsunami Sky's eyes flickered. He immediately took out the communication stone plate and passed the news to City Lord Lei with a gloomy face. Just get someone to keep an eye on their movements. We don't need to pay attention to them. Wang Xian took a look at the ocean cultivator army in front of him. He spoke to Jin Qianyuan and flew toward the mayor's residence. Jin Qianyuan nodded and ordered his men to keep an eye on the ocean cultivator army before returning to deal with the matter. On the other hand, many citizens of Shanghai town flew up to the city wall curiously and looked at the ocean cultivator army below. Some people couldn't help but curse. This made the ocean cultivator army more than 10,000 people furious, and they stared at them with murderous intent. But later, more and more citizens of Holy Sea Town came to see. Some of them were grumpy and opened their mouths to greet their families. In the end, Tsunami Sky, whose face was black, led the ocean cultivator army to retreat 5 kilometers. Don't think that just because there's a formation, we can't do anything to you. I don't believe that you won't come out. Since ancient times, it's not like there's no way to deal with this. Upon seeing the message sent by City Lord Lei, Tsunami Heaven revealed a hint of malevolence on his face. Donghai City had to settle the matter regarding the Holy Sea Town as soon as possible. Otherwise, if the entire Star Moon Kingdom were to find out about it, Donghai Town would lose all its face. Time passed slowly. Wang Xian sat in the backyard of the mayor's residence and sipped his tea. It was a rare occasion for him to lie there comfortably. Ao Jian and Ao Jian were cultivating. When Feng Wuan arrives, I will give the town of Shanghai to her. I will also have to move the Dragon Palace over, Wang Xian thought to himself. Currently, he had hundreds of thousands of demonic beasts' corpses in his interspatial ring and the storage spiritual bag. Wang Xian estimated that the energy of these corpses would be able to increase his level after he devoured them. However, he still chose to stay behind. This was the foundation of the Dragon Palace. It was important for him to level up, but it was even more important for him to develop the Dragon Palace. When the Dragon Palace descended, it would be the time for rapid development. Chapter 1104. Feng Wuan arrived. Time passed day by day. Soon 3 days passed by in a flash. The group of ocean cultivators did not leave. The bloody demonic beasts were still hiding in the dark clouds in the sky. This ocean cultivators have such patience and ability. Why didn't they come when the Holy Sea Town was in danger? Hee, what a joke. Wang Xian stood in a separate courtyard in the mayor's residence and sat on the roof. He looked out of the city and thought to himself. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. At this moment, Wang Xian saw many figures flying over Shanghai town. Soon, the sky was slightly red as if flames were burning. Shanghai town, do you think that we can't do anything to you just by relying on the formation? Let me tell you, if you dare to betray the country, you shall be sentenced to death. Just wait for your death. A loud roar covered the entire Shanghai town. Wang Xian narrowed his eyes slightly and looked at the sky. The loud noise that resounded in the sky also caused everyone in Shanghai town to frown. They hurriedly looked at the sky. What happened? Why is the sky red? It's the formation. It must be the ocean cultivators outside, who are trying to deal with us. Damn it! Damn it! Those bastards! Damn them! I know what it is. It's a fire mist formation. They've sealed our holy sea town with the formation. The fire mist formation is a tier 8 formation. It can create a fire dance space. There's no water element energy in this space. Quick, check the underground water. Is the underground water sealed by the formation as well? We can't extract water from the ground anymore. It's blocked by the array. This is bad. They want to cut off our water source. The sudden change in the sky and the majestic voice caused everyone's expression to change drastically. They hurriedly shouted. When someone recognized this array, their expressions changed instantly. All of them revealed furious expressions. The fire fog array was only a transcendent level 8 array. This kind of array wasn't very useful. It was considered a good auxiliary cultivation array for fire attribute cultivators. In this array space, if the water energy was used up, it wouldn't be able to condense water energy. East Sea City had brought over a dozen fire mist arrays to completely envelop Holy Sea Town. Cut off the water source. Once the water source was cut off, what awaited the humans of Holy Sea Town was death. With their strength, they couldn't do without water. So ruthless. They're destroying everyone in Holy Sea Town. Jin Qinyuan and the other experts looked at the fiery red sky, and their faces slowly sank. The underground water was blocked by the array. Water elemental cultivators could condense the surrounding water, but when the water energy in the surrounding space was used up, it would be troublesome. It is not necessary to destroy everyone, but it can make Holy Sea Town fall into panic. With a level 8 extraordinary formation, they could dig into the ground all the way to the location of the formation and break the formation to get water. However, it was already good enough to feed more than 10,000 people. It was impossible to supply 7 to 8 million people. Let's report this matter to Lord Wuxia first. Jin Qinyuan and the rest had solemn expressions as they immediately headed towards the Holy Sea Town. At this moment, at the east gate of the Holy Sea Town, a group of people came to the city wall and glared at the sea of cultivators in front of them. You bunch of despicable fellows. You didn't come to save us when we were in danger. Now that we have escaped, you want to kill us instead. Star Moon Kingdom will be destroyed sooner or later. Shameless people. You bunch of bastards. You'll get your comeuppance. Some of the people's faces turned red as they cursed loudly. You bunch of fools. You'll have to pay a bloody price for betraying us and violating the dignity of Star Moon Kingdom. You bunch of fools. It won't be long before you roll out and kneel in front of us. How dare you curse at our army of ocean cultivators? Haha, just you wait. In half a month at most, you'll come and beg us. The soldiers of the Ocean Cultivator Corps burst into laughter. After being scolded by the people of Holy Sea Town for the past few days, they finally let out a sigh of relief today. These damn fools, just you wait for the Ocean Cultivator Corps to trample on them. I want to see how long you can hold on. Pay attention to the array formation. If there is any place that is broken, immediately use spirit stones to repair it. Tsunami Sky sneered and ordered the soldiers at the side. Yes, General. A few officers were also excited. When they came out, and the formation was removed, he would let this group of stupid people know the consequences of insulting them. The soldiers of the Ocean Cultivators Corps had a cold expression on their faces. Don't worry. Calm the people down, and tell them not to worry. Wang Xian looked at Jin Qinyuan, and the rest who were looking at him with a frown. A smile appeared on his face as he said nonchalantly, putting aside the fact that Feng Yuan would arrive a few days later, was this fire fog formation useful? The 5 elements were born in harmony. Fire gave birth to earth gave birth to gold, and gold gave birth to water. All right, the fire fog formation had turned the entire Shanghai town into a space of the fire element. Under the interaction of the 5 elements, gold gave birth to water. This was equivalent to this formation. On the contrary, it could make fire attribute cultivators cultivate faster. Water shortage. Wang Xian's water hazard explosion could cause the water in Shanghai town to reach his ankles. When he sensed the effect of this formation, Wang Xian almost wanted to laugh. When Wang Xian thought of this, he couldn't help but laugh. Jin Qianyuan and the rest were slightly stunned when they saw Wang Xian's smile. It seemed that Lord Wang had a way to deal with this. This made all of them smile and let out a heavy sigh of relief. It's good that Lord Wang has a way to deal with this. We will appease the people. Okay. Wang Xian nodded his head faintly. Feng Wuan should be here in 6 to 7 days. The turmoil in Shanghai town quickly calmed down. When everyone knew that Lord Wang Xian had a solution, everyone in the Holy See town relaxed. Lord Wang Xian would not lie to them. They believed his words unconditionally. This made everyone in the Holy See town smile again. Some of the soldiers from the Sea Cultivators' army wanted to see the suffering of the people in the Holy See town. However, they realized that it was completely different from what they had imagined. This made their faces sink again. Humph, just hang in there. Let's see how many days you can last. At most 6 or 7 days. At that time, your tears will be your last drop of water. Some soldiers said with gloomy faces. A week had passed, but there was still no sign of water shortage in Holy See town. This made everyone in the Ocean Cultivator Corps look terrible. Even Tsunami Sky's face turned dark. What's going on? The array formation isn't broken. They didn't take water from the underground with their powerful strength. Why is there still enough water? Tsunami Sky was surprised. General, more than 1,000 people are coming toward Holy See town from the east. At this moment, a soldier flew over and reported immediately. Someone is coming to Shanghai town. Tsunami Sky looked to the east, his eyes shining. Chapter 1105, Establishment, Dragon and Phoenix Dynasty. Someone is coming to Holy See town. Let's go and see who it is. Tsunami Sky slightly narrowed his eyes and immediately walked toward the east. The soldiers of the Ocean Cultivator Corps slowly followed behind. In front of them, more than 1,000 people slowly walked toward them. The leader was a woman with a good figure. The woman wore a veil on her face, making it hard to see her face clearly. Beside the woman was an old woman. Behind her were 3 middle-aged men. One was 2 meters tall and held a big knife in his hand. The other was dressed in a red robe and held a red staff in his hand. The other was a middle-aged man with a feather fan in his hand. He had long hair and looked a little thin. Behind him was a group of young men and women. They were walking in a neat line toward them. They were silent and didn't even make any sound as they walked towards the direction of St. C town. Stop. Who are you? Where are you going? The burly middle-aged man with a huge axe in his hand shouted at them. He glanced at the group and asked with a slight frown. Tsunami Sky looked at everyone with a trace of surprise in his eyes. This group of people had clear discipline, and they possessed powerful concealment abilities. Even he could not see their strength clearly. Judging from their movements, each and every one of them was not weak. However, Tsunami Sky did not take them to heart. Half of the strength of their Ocean Cultivator army was here, and he was here as well. He knew even the insightful Void Realm experts of Star Moon Kingdom. Moreover, no one dared to make an enemy out of them. Making an enemy out of them was equivalent to making an enemy out of the entire Star Moon Kingdom. We're going to Holy See town. The middle-aged man holding the feather fan looked at the group of Ocean Cultivators, fanned himself, and said with a smile, "Why are we going to Holy See town?" The burly middle-aged man holding the huge axe raised his eyebrows and continued to ask, "Our friends are there." The middle-aged man with the feather fan stroked his beard and said with a smile, "Very good friends." The middle-aged man with the feather fan slightly narrowed his eyes. A trace of cold killing intent flashed in his eyes, and the corner of his mouth slightly rose. "Very good friends. We need to enter St. C town and settle there in the future. May I know who you are?" The middle-aged man with the feather fan swept over all of them and asked faintly, "We are." The burly middle-aged man with the huge axe in his hand was about to speak when Tsunami Sky waved his hand. "Go over," he said to the group indifferently. The middle-aged man with the feathered fan cupped his fists politely, and the group continued to walk forward. "General." The burly middle-aged man walked to Tsunami Sky's side and called out doubtfully, Let's see how they can enter. Tsunami Sky slightly narrowed his eyes, and his eyes flickered with killing intent. Empress, these people are harboring evil intentions. There's even a void interpretation-level demonic beast in the sky. The old woman's voice reached Feng Wan's ears. She lightly nodded and looked toward Holy Sea Town. The array formation is very strong. Without the strength of a third-level void interpretation, there's no way to break it. Feng Wan said with a face full of curiosity. The 5 elements are endless. What an exquisite formation. The old woman looked over and was also a little surprised. Just this formation alone is stronger than the defense of an ordinary kingdom's imperial city. The city defense formation was much more precious than ordinary formations. Its value was also dozens of times higher. After all, the area covered by the city defense formation was dozens, or even hundreds of kilometers. The formation that Wang Xian took out was considered to be of a higher level in the Transcendence continent. The group of people ignored the group of ocean cultivators and headed straight for the city gate of the Holy Sea Town. The people who came were still Feng Wan and her group who had rushed over from the Fire Lark clan. When they reached the east gate, Feng Wan raised her head and looked at the city guards on the city wall. On the city wall, the group of city guards were also looking at them curiously. They initially thought that this group of people was from the East Sea City to deal with them. Now, it seemed that they were not. I'm looking for Wang Xian. Please tell him that I'm here. Feng Wan looked at the group of people on the city wall and said faintly, You're looking for Lord Wang Xian? A young city guard looked at them in astonishment. Then he looked at the ocean cultivator army that was released later. State your name. Lord Wang Xian didn't say that someone came to look for him. The young city guard asked loudly in disbelief. Feng Wan didn't say anything. She took out her communication stone plate and contacted Wang Xian immediately. At this moment, in Shanghai town, Wang Xian had received the message from Feng Wan. He stood up with a smile on his face. His body moved, and he flew directly toward the east gate. Are they here? Feng Wan raised her head and looked into the distance. A smile appeared on her face. At this moment, in front of the ocean cultivator's army, Tsunami Sky revealed a faint smile on his face when he saw Wang Xian flying over. Attack! Surround them all! Tsunami Sky revealed a cold expression and waved his hand indifferently. Yes! The middle-aged man who was holding the huge axe laughed and shouted, Surround them all! Boom! 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 The tens of thousands of ocean cultivators had a ferocious look on their faces. Their bodies were emitting a murderous aura as they charged over with cold eyes. The tens of thousands of people surrounded Feng Wan and the rest. What are you doing? The middle-aged man who was holding a feather fan turned cold as he looked at Tsunami Sky and asked coldly, What are you doing? You will know soon enough. Tsunami Sky smiled coldly as he looked at the city wall. At this moment, Wang Xian landed on the city wall. Looking at Feng Wan and the rest who were surrounded by the ocean cultivators, he was slightly stunned. He looked at the old lady beside Feng Wan, and his gaze finally landed on her. He smiled faintly. You're finally here. Wang Xian smiled at Feng Wan. I'm here. Feng Wan nodded her head faintly. Looks like you guys really know each other. Tsunami Sky raised his eyebrows when he saw how calm they were. He stared at Wang Xian coldly and asked, We know each other. We're very good friends. Wang Xian nodded his head. Good friends? That's even better. Haha. Tsunami Sky suddenly burst into laughter. Since we're good friends, let's undo the formation and open the city gates. Otherwise, what do you think? Wang Xian narrowed his eyes slightly and asked with a smile. Otherwise, I'll kill one of them every minute. The huge sword in Tsunami Sky's hand landed heavily on the ground as he spoke in a ghastly tone. Clang, clang, clang. When he finished speaking, the soldiers around him drew their weapons and pointed them at Feng Wan and the rest. Wang Xian heard his words and was slightly stunned. Was he courting death? Wang Xian suddenly felt that Tsunami Sky was extremely stupid. A mocking expression appeared on his face. Then why don't you try killing one? he said faintly. Chapter 1106, Establishment, Dragon and Phoenix Dynasty. Why don't you try killing one of them? On the city wall, Wang Xian looked at Tsunami Sky and the group of ocean cultivators in amusement. They might not have understood what kind of existence they were threatening. Tsunami Sky looked at Wang Xian's teasing gaze and frowned slightly. He stared at Feng Wuan and the rest who were surrounded. There were more than 1,000 people. Under their encirclement, they did not panic at all. They stood there very calmly. They did not even look at the soldiers around them. This made him suspicious. His eyes were flickering. Could it be that there were experts among this group of people? The situation at the city wall had attracted the attention of the people of Shanghai town. Because the city gate had been broken through by the ferocious beasts, they could see the outside of the town from the inside. Some of the citizens flew up to the city wall curiously when they saw Wang Xian. What are these despicable people from the Ocean Cultivators' army doing? I don't know. The people who are surrounded outside seem to be friends of Lord Wang. Fuck, what are these despicable people trying to do now? The citizens who rushed over looked outside angrily. Now, as long as it was related to Wang Xian, the people of Shanghai town were extremely irritable. Fine, make your move. As long as you don't withdraw the formation, I will kill all of your friends right in front of you. Upon hearing the curses from the crowd on the city wall, Tsunami Sky's eyes were filled with fury as he spoke furiously. Over the past few days, he had been scolded by the people of Shanghai town from time to time. This had already made him extremely furious. All of you bastards, stop. Stop immediately. Otherwise, don't blame us for being impolite in the future. Some of the citizens of Shanghai town, who were unaware of the situation, were standing on top of the wall and shouting anxiously. Their shouts caused more people to come over. Wang Xian smiled slightly when he saw the situation on the city wall. However, he didn't say anything. This was good as well. He wanted to let the people of Shanghai town see the strength of Feng Wuan and the rest, so that they could prepare for her to take charge of this place. Feng Wuan looked at Wang Xian before looking at the sea cultivators around her. I'll leave these troubles to you guys. Wang Xian smiled and said to Feng Wuan. All right. Feng Wuan nodded her head faintly and gestured to the middle-aged man with the feather fan beside her. Kill a few hundred of them first. However, at this moment Tsunami Sky's cold roar sounded. At this time, he couldn't care less whether these people were experts or not. He also didn't believe that these people who were surrounded by them could be comparable to them. Attack! The burly middle-aged man with the huge axe raised the axe in his hand and shouted. Ha! A shout was heard in unison. Bastard! Damn it! Damn it! The people of Holy Sea Town who didn't know the situation were furious when they saw them attacking their Lord Wang's friend. Attack! The middle-aged man holding the feather fan opened the feather fan in his hand and ordered. Boom! At this moment, thousands of middle-aged men in red shirts moved behind them. A terrifying aura burst out from their bodies. Buzz, 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 buzz. The aura of level 7, level 8, level 9, and even half-step void interpretation was released in an orderly manner. The aura that burst out in that instant caused the entire world to change color. There were around 500 level 7 transcendents, 300 to 400 level 8 transcendents, and more than 100 level 9 transcendents. As for those who were half-step void interpretation, there were no less than 20. Leave this guy to me. The 2-meter-tall man standing behind Feng Wuan, who was holding a large saber, stared at the tsunami. He roared and instantly disappeared. King, should we get rid of that demonic beast in the sky? The middle-aged man holding the red staff looked up at the sky and asked respectfully. Get rid of it. Feng Wuan nodded and said directly. Yes. They moved. The people behind Feng Wuan all moved. However, the moment they moved, the bodies of the tens of thousands of ocean cultivators and the soldiers who were about to make a move froze. Their eyes slowly revealed fear. Boom! Ah! At this moment, screams of terror rang out. Everyone in the Ocean Cultivator Corps looked over with endless fear on their faces. In their eyes, their general, the invincible commander in their hearts, an expert at the profound void realm, was actually sent flying. In fact, they didn't even see how their general was sent flying. At this moment, Tsunami Sky, who was spitting out blood, stared at the big man in front of him with a face full of despair. In that instant just now, he didn't even have time to react before he was struck in the chest by a punch. He felt as if his internal organs had been shattered. He looked at the big man in his line of sight, his gaze somewhat absent-minded. How is this possible? He was a powerhouse at the insightful Void tier, and he was the strongest powerhouse in Star Moon Kingdom. How could any burly man injure him so severely? What frightened him the most was that his opponent had clearly not used his full strength just now. That was because his blade had yet to strike. Beast, come out and surrender. At this moment, he heard a voice that was filled with authority. Immediately after, he saw a fiery red chain directly pierce into the clouds. It was heading towards the sky a few thousand meters high. The chain was fiery red, and it contained a terrifying temperature. Not good, not good. A powerhouse, a top-tier powerhouse, a top-tier powerhouse of the human race. The leader of the blood barbaric demon beasts, who had been hiding in the sky, saw the middle-aged man suddenly attacking him, and his heart pounded violently. He had been hiding in the sky a few thousand meters high, and even the profound Void tier general had not noticed him in the past few days. However, that middle-aged man had directly and accurately attacked him. The terrifying majesty contained within that chain made it tremble. Flee, flee, flee. The blood-savage beast leader's expression was extremely unsightly. Without the slightest hesitation, it wanted to flee into the distance in fear. However, that fiery red chain was like a soul-chasing chain, and its speed suddenly increased, reaching a terrifying level. Pa pa pa. The sound of collision was heard. The leader of the blood barbarian demon beast was full of fear. Its sharp arm directly chopped at the chain. Ah! At the moment of collision, the face of the blood barbarian demon beast changed, and it let out a blood-curdling scream. The chain coiled, directly wrapping around the leader of the blood barbarian demon beast. Don't kill me, don't kill me. The leader of the blood barbaric demon beast begged for mercy in fear. It realized in despair that it could not break the chains by itself. The opponent's strength was at least at the second level of the profound Void tier. A human expert at the second level of the profound Void tier was not something a demon beast that had just advanced to the profound Void tier, could deal with. The leader of the blood barbaric demon beast was extremely miserable. It organized fierce beasts to attack the city, but the city was not taken down. All of its subordinates were killed. Now that he had swallowed his subordinates and was preparing to take revenge and massacre the city, a group of terrifying human experts had suddenly appeared. How could there be so many experts in this tiny Star Moon Kingdom? Chapter 1107. Establishment, Dragon Phoenix Dynasty. This. Cough, cough, cough. Tsunami Sky's eyes widened when he saw this scene. There was actually a void interpretation level demon beast hiding in the sky. And this void interpretation level demon beast was easily trapped by the middle-aged man holding the staff. He looked at the burly man who was staring at him mockingly, and then looked down. At the very least, there were over 1,000 experts at the 7th level of the extraordinary realm. They were slaughtering his subordinates at a terrifying speed. They were slaughtering the soldiers of the Ocean Cultivator army. They didn't have the ability to resist at all. They were easily killed in an instant. None of them could resist. Finally, he looked at the woman who hadn't taken action yet, the old woman beside the woman, and the middle-aged man who was holding a feather fan. Who are they? Tsunami Sky's face was filled with fear as a thought flashed through his mind. You can die now. The burly man with the large saber in his hand looked at Tsunami Sky and coldly said, No, don't kill me. If you kill me, Star Moon Kingdom won't let you off. Tsunami Sky saw the killing intent in the burly man's eyes and hurriedly shouted in fear. Die! The burly man did not hesitate at all. His body moved, and the large saber in his hand directly slashed towards Tsunami Sky. No! Feeling the thick and heavy saber light of the burly man, Tsunami Sky's face was filled with despair as he shouted out loudly. Layers of water currents on his body blocked, but the difference was too great. He is at least a third-level profound void martial artist. Tsunami Sky thought in terror. Boom! With a slash, Tsunami Sky's body was split into two. Roar, roar, I can't accept this. At this time, the blood-savage demonic beast's desperate scream came from the sky. The leader of the blood-savage demonic beast died under the attack of the chains. The corpses fell to the ground. On the ground, there were already corpses. The thousands of experts who attacked didn't shout or make any sound. They could only kill. In less than a minute, tens of thousands of soldiers of the Ocean Cultivator Corps were killed. Blood flowed like a river. At this moment, in the sacred sea town screams the red chains in the sky, the terrified roars of the Tsunami Sky, and the terrified pleas of the blood-barbaric demon beasts. All over the sacred sea town. The people who stood on the city wall and witnessed this scene widened their eyes and gaped. This. A young man's body trembled as he rubbed his eyes with all his strength. Heavens, the Ocean Cultivator Army, an expert at the profound void realm, was actually killed so easily. So powerful, so terrifying. They actually killed the general of the Ocean Cultivator Army at the profound void realm in an instant, and killed the leader of the blood barbaric demon beasts that were hiding in the sky. Powerhouses. All of them are top-notch powerhouses. Among the over 1,000 of them, none of them are lower than Transcendent Level 7. Oh my God! Everyone was shocked. They looked at the group of people outside the city, and their faces were filled with astonishment. This group of people were simply god-killers. Wang Xian was not too surprised when he saw this scene. After all, he had already witnessed the terrifying existence of the old lady who could teleport. It was within his expectations that Feng Wuan could build up such strength. His body moved and he flew out directly. Not bad. Wang Xian came to Feng Wuan's side. He looked at her and said with a smile, "Is this the town that you want to give me?" Feng Wuan looked at her with a smile. How is it? This gift is not bad, right? Wang Xian said with a smile. He looked at the corpses around him and waved at Ao Jian who was behind him. Give these corpses to me as a return gift. Wang Xian said with a smile. He threw the storage bag to Ao Jian and asked him to put away the corpses. It was another huge harvest. Feng Wuan rolled her eyes at him. Open the formation. Let's go in. All right. Wang Xian nodded. Follow me. I'll bring you to take a look. As he spoke, he walked side by side with Feng Wuan into Shanghai town. Feng Wuan's eyes were sparkling as she looked at the town. Behind her, the middle-aged man who was holding a feather fan, a large saber and a staff, as well as more than 1,000 people behind him looked at the young man, who was walking shoulder to shoulder with their king in shock. Their eyes were filled with disbelief. As die-hard loyalists, they naturally knew the identity of their king. The empress from 1,000 years ago, the noble and aloof empress. Now she was actually so close to a young man. Even the powerful and terrifying old man had to take a small step back in front of their empress. However, this young man was walking together with the empress. Lord Wang! Lord Wang! Lord Wang! Wang Xian brought them into Holy Sea Town. The people of Holy Sea Town looked at them and greeted them respectfully. They looked at Feng Wuan and the group of people who followed him in with curiosity and respect. Who is that beauty? Could she be Lord Wang's wife? With such strength, Lord Wang must have a powerful background. Don't you think so? It's possible. However, this group of people is so terrifying. They killed 2 insightful emptiness realm experts directly. They are too invincible. It should be someone called by Lord Wang to help us solve the predicament of Shanghai town. The surrounding citizens whispered. Along the way, all the citizens who met Wang Xian greeted him respectfully. Some children even bowed to him in admiration. Feng Wuan saw all of this and was slightly surprised. At the same time, she was very happy. Looks like you have quite a reputation in Shanghai town. When they were about to arrive at the mayor's residence, Feng Wuan said to Wang Xian with a smile. Of course, now that Shanghai Town has left Star Moon Kingdom, everyone here will listen to my orders. Otherwise, how can I give Shanghai Town to you? Wang Xian said with a smile. The people's hearts are united. This is better than taking down a city directly. Although the town is smaller, the most important thing is the people's hearts. The old lady saw the entire Shanghai Town in her eyes. After experiencing despair, Shanghai Town had undoubtedly experienced nirvana. Everyone's spirit and energy were more vigorous. Such a new town had immense potential. Moreover, with the people's hearts united, the future development would be very easy. The old lady said to Feng Wuan with a smile on her face. That's right. This place can save 1 to 2 years of development. Feng Wuan also nodded happily. Then you have to thank me properly, Wang Xian said with a smile on his face. Sir Wang Xian. At this moment, Jin Qianyuan came up to the entrance of the mayor's residence. He had already learned about what had happened outside the city. When he saw Wang Xian leading a group of terrifying powerhouses, he had a faint feeling that something big was about to happen. Mayor Jin, please call all the powerhouses in Shanghai Town over. I have something to announce. Wang Xian said to Jin Qianyuan. Yes. Jin Qianyuan nodded his head. Chapter 1108. At the historic moment of. You guys wait here first. After entering the mayor's residence, Feng Wuan spoke to the people behind her as she looked at Wang Xian. Wang Xian nodded. Let's go. He brought her to a courtyard in the backyard. The two of them sat inside while the old lady stood by the side. Are you sure we should start from here? Wang Xian looked at Feng Wuan and asked her directly. Yes. Initially, I wanted to take down the Eastern Sea City. However, the king of Star Moon Kingdom has broken through to the 5th level of the Void Interpretation Realm. It's not something I can handle. The Holy Sea Town is pretty good. The Holy Sea Town is just a small town. Even if it's lost, the king of Star Moon Kingdom wouldn't come personally. Feng Wuan nodded and sat beside Wang Xian. I have to thank you this time. Otherwise, I might have to wait for a few years. Wang Xian smiled and shook his head. It's better for you to be here. I'm preparing to move the Dragon Palace to the supernatural continent. Are you going to move it over? Feng Wuan's eyes revealed a hint of joy. That's even better. We can take care of each other while you are at the sea area next to us. Wang Xian nodded. The situation in Shanghai Town is a little special now. The city of Shilai Town has been invaded by ferocious beasts, and about 800,000 people have escaped to Shanghai Town. There are too many people here now, and we need to expand the city. More people? That's even better. Feng Wuan was full of smiles. I'm not afraid of more people, but I'm afraid of fewer people. Oh right, when you take over Shanghai Town, you have to establish a kingdom. What's the name of the kingdom? Is it the Fengxian Kingdom? Wang Xian asked curiously. Fengxian Kingdom? When Feng Wuan heard his words, her face turned slightly red. However, she quickly shook her head. No, I've already thought of a name. Feng Wuan smiled and shook her head. She looked to the side and said, the name is the Dragon and Phoenix Dynasty. Dragon and Phoenix Dynasty? Just use the word dragon. As for the Dragon Clan, it doesn't matter. Although the Dragon Clan is extremely overbearing, if they don't mean to insult you, the Dragon Clan won't find trouble with you for no reason. Moreover, more than 1,000 years ago, there was a Dragon and Phoenix Dynasty. However, it was destroyed by me at that time. Now the name is a little misleading. Feng Wuan said with a smile on her face. Dragon and Phoenix, it fits perfectly. Wang Xian looked at her with a smile. Feng Wuan rolled her eyes slightly when she saw his smile. When are you going to move the Dragon Palace to the Transcendence Continent? I'll take action immediately after helping you settle the matter here. Wang Xian retracted his smile and said seriously. Okay. Feng Wuan nodded her head. Sir Wang Xian, everyone has been called over. At this moment, Jin Qianyuan walked in and said to Wang Xian. Wang Xian nodded his head and looked at Feng Wuan. Let's go. In the mayor's residence, A group of people with some reputation and strength were all standing inside. They were discussing in a low voice out of curiosity. From time to time, they would look at the group of terrifying experts outside. Sir Wang. Upon seeing Wang Xian's arrival, everyone looked over and immediately greeted him respectfully. Yes, I've called everyone over. I have an important announcement to make. Wang Xian nodded and walked to the front. Feng Luan stood beside him and swept her gaze across everyone. Sir, please give us your instructions. Our lives are given to us by you. No matter what you say, even if we have to go through fire and water, we will do our best. The group of them also realized that something big might happen next. They bowed and expressed their opinions respectfully. Wang Xian did not doubt their words at all. Jin Qianyuan also stood respectfully in the middle of them, waiting for Wang Xian's announcement. This is my family member. Her name is Feng. The group of people standing outside have 2 experts at the 2nd level of the void interpretation stage, 1 expert at the 3rd level of the void interpretation stage, and more than 1,000 experts. I am prepared to hand over Shanghai town to her. Wang Xian said to them. Jin Qianyuan and the rest were slightly stunned. Their faces were filled with shock. She will use the Holy Sea town as her foundation to establish the Dragon Phoenix Kingdom. Wang Xian continued to speak when he saw the shocked crowd. What? Establish a kingdom? This? When Wang Xian finished his last sentence, everyone, including Jin Qianyuan, could not remain calm. Establish a kingdom? This was establishing a kingdom. Establishing a kingdom. To be able to do such a thing, everyone must be an expert, a formidable person, and a person with great ambitions. Otherwise, who would dare to establish a kingdom? Now Wang Xian actually said that the woman beside him wanted to establish the Dragon Phoenix Kingdom. This made everyone feel surreal. My name is Feng. Everyone can call me King Feng in the future. At this moment Feng Wan spoke. She did not reveal her real name, because she still needed to hide it. The moment she spoke, a majestic aura erupted from her body like a prehistoric beast. The moment she opened her mouth, it was as though the entire space was centered around her. Jin Qianyuan and the others felt their hearts skip a beat. They suddenly felt that this veiled woman in front of them was like a high and mighty god. She was like a peerless expert who controlled the power of heaven and earth, like their king. This made them feel an urge to become small and worship her. Jin Qianyuan's eyes widened slightly, and his face was filled with shock. He had once witnessed this aura. It was the aura of a king. He had once seen the king in the royal palace of Star Moon Kingdom. When he saw the king, he did not dare to look directly at him. However, this young woman in front of him had an imposing aura that was dozens, or even hundreds of times that of the king. This was definitely not an ordinary woman. Even the princes and princesses of Star Moon Kingdom could not compare to her. Shanghai town has already withdrawn from Star Moon Kingdom. From now on, follow Feng and conquer the world together. She will lead all of you to lead Shanghai town to the stage of the supernatural continent. Wang Xian said from the side. Sir Wang, what about you? An old man looked at Feng Wan with some respect, then looked at Wang Xian and asked. Me? I will always be here. However, I will not ask about your matters in the future. Leave everything to Feng. As Wang Xian spoke, he looked at all of them and said in a deep voice, I have no other requests. I hope that all of you will obey Feng with all your might, and follow her to build an invincible empire that will shake the entire supernatural continent. Invincible empire. Jin Qianyuan and the rest widened their eyes and could not help but gulp. Empire? There were only 5 empires in the supernatural continent. We will listen to Lord Wang Xian. Everyone replied respectfully. Following that, they looked at Feng Luan. Greetings, King Feng. Greetings, King Feng. Everyone knelt on the ground and bowed. Since Lord Wang Xian had asked them to respect her as king, they would respect her as king in the future. Chapter 1109. At the historic moment of Rise. Feng Luan looked at the people kneeling in front of her, and revealed a faint smile on her face. She had finally taken her first step. She turned around and looked at Wang Xian with gratitude in her eyes. Wang Xian shrugged. Let's go out. Okay. Feng Wuan nodded and followed beside him. Wang Xian walked out of the mayor's hall and flew directly to the central tower. Feng Wuan moved and followed closely behind him. Jin Qianyuan and the rest didn't hesitate and followed behind him. They knew that the time for the establishment of the dynasty had arrived. Wang Xian was floating in the sky above Shanghai town, while Feng Wuan stood beside him. Citizens of Shanghai town, I am Wang Xian. Today, I have something important to announce. Wang Xian looked down and shouted in a deep voice. In an instant, Wang Xian's voice spread across the entire Shanghai town. Oh, it's Master Wang? Master Wang has an announcement to make. Hurry up and come out. Come out, come out. Put down what you are doing and come out. With just one sentence from Wang Xian, everyone in Shanghai town put down what they were doing and walked out of their houses. Some were standing on the streets, while others were standing in the courtyard. Basically, everyone walked out of their houses and raised their heads to look at Wang Xian, who was in the sky. From today onwards, I will hand over Shanghai town to my family next to me. Her name is Feng. Today, Feng will use Shanghai town as the starting point to establish the Dragon and Phoenix dynasty. In the future, Shanghai town will become a citizen of the Dragon and Phoenix dynasty. Wang Xian shouted loudly again, and his voice entered everyone's ears. Everyone was slightly stunned as they looked at the beautiful figure beside Wang Xian in astonishment. Boom! Feng Wuan moved her feet lightly as a warm flame was emitted from her body. I am Feng. Today, I will use Shanghai town as the imperial city to establish the Dragon Phoenix dynasty. While everyone was in a daze, Feng Wuan spoke directly. At the same time, streams of warm flames were emitted from her body. The flames blocked the radiance of the sun and emitted a warm radiance that made everyone feel warm. Everyone in Holy See Town had shocked expressions on their faces as they stared blankly at the infinitely enlarged phoenix in the sky. I am the king. All living things in the Dragon and Phoenix dynasty are equal. The people are not affected by hunger and cold. I am the king. All living things in the Dragon and Phoenix dynasty are safe and undisturbed by fierce beasts. I am the king. All living things in the Dragon and Phoenix dynasty can strive to become stronger. I am the king, and all beings in the Dragon and Phoenix dynasty are invincible, fearless and without fear. Feng Wuan's voice resounded in everyone's mind. Everyone widened their eyes and slowly opened their mouths. Equality, peace, self-improvement, and invincibility. These grand ambitions shocked everyone. Today, the Dragon and Phoenix dynasty is established, and I am the king. The city will be expanded, and the Dragon and Phoenix Academy will be established. The first principal of the academy will be Yu Chengzi, a rank 2 insightful void martial artist. Every child will have a chance to become a peerless expert. Feng Wuan's face revealed endless dignity as she slowly walked over. I am Yu Chengzi. Everyone please advise me. When Feng Wuan spoke of Yu Chengzi, the middle-aged man holding the feather fan directly flew into the sky and looked down at all the people below. He cupped his fists and said, The Dragon and Phoenix Empire will establish the Dragon and Phoenix City Guards. The commander, Yan Wenshan, is a rank 2 profound void martial artist. Feng Wuan continued to speak. I am Yan Wenshan. Please enlighten me. The middle-aged man holding the red staff flew into the sky and cupped his fists at everyone. The Dragon and Phoenix dynasty has established the Dragon and Phoenix army. There are 1,200 people in the army. The commander, Mang Hong, is at rank 3 of the profound void martial stage. I am Mang Hong. Please enlighten me. Dragon and Phoenix army, please enlighten me. The middle-aged man holding the big saber flew into the sky and shouted loudly. The 1,200 experts of the Dragon and Phoenix Corps flew into the sky at the same time and shouted at everyone in Holy See Town. Today, Holy See Town will be renamed Dragon and Phoenix City. Feng Wuan finally announced. When he finished saying this, he waved his arm. One after another, feng shui compasses floated around him. Buzz, buzz, buzz. One after another, feng shui compasses instantly formed a large array. Rain formation, rank 4 void interpretation formation. Lives in Dragon Phoenix City. People don't get sick. Their bodies are cleansed. Wind pattern formation, rank 5 void interpretation formation, city defense formation. The formation can release rank 4 void interpretation attacks to attack intruders. Boundless spirit formation, rank 5 void interpretation formation. Gathers spiritual energy within 1,000 miles. Increases the concentration of spiritual energy in Dragon Phoenix City by 5 times. Mingqing Array, 3rd grade void interpretation array, auxiliary array. It can make people's minds clear. Rays of light covered Holy Sea Town as Feng Wuan spoke one by one. Following her actions and her words, all the people in Holy Sea Town could feel the changes in their surroundings. When they heard the level and function of this array, all of their faces revealed shocked expressions. Many people's bodies trembled. Heavens, what is this? 4 powerful array formations at the profound void tier. Under these 4 array formations, Holy Sea Town was definitely a paradise. Even the array formation in Star Moon City was far inferior to it, right? Even some of the Empire's large cities had such an array formation. First, it was Feng Wuan's grand wish, then the profound void experts they looked up to, and finally, this priceless array formation. It was no exaggeration to say that this array could buy their sacred sea town. However, as the citizens of Sacred Sea Town, they were a little stunned at first, but now they were a little excited. Oh my God, we can actually live in such a city. This is completely the transformation of thatched cottages and villas. Below, even Jin Qinyuan and the others were trembling at Feng Wuan's grand gesture. They knew what this array meant, and what it meant for the future of the Holy Sea Town under these arrays. Grand gesture, grand gesture. She was really going to use the Holy Sea Town as a starting point to build a powerful kingdom. At the thought of Wang Xian's words, they were all excited again. We are willing to be the citizens of the Dragon and Phoenix dynasty. We are willing to make you the Phoenix King. Long live the Phoenix King. Jin Qinyuan and the rest looked at each other. He could see the shock in each other's eyes. The group of people knelt on the ground and shouted loudly. We are willing to be the citizens of the Dragon and Phoenix dynasty. We are willing to serve you as the Phoenix King. Long live the Phoenix King. Jin Qinyuan and the rest took the lead. The rest of the citizens of Holy Sea Town quickly shouted loudly as they slowly knelt on the ground. Not to mention the great ambitions that the queen had said. The things that she had brought out were worthy of their kneeling. Moreover, with the queen and her subordinates in the future, why would Holy Sea Town be afraid of demon beasts attacking the city? Just now, many people had seen with their own eyes that her subordinates, who were floating in the sky, had directly killed the leader of the blood barbaric demon beasts. He had exterminated the ocean cultivator army, and the general who wanted to kill them within a minute. Chapter 11:10, Dragon Palace descended. All citizens, today is the first year of the establishment of the Dragon and Phoenix dynasty. From now on, we will enter the year of the Dragon and Phoenix calendar. Today will be the day of the founding of the National Day. In the future, I will make the Dragon and Phoenix dynasty the Dragon and Phoenix Empire, standing at the top of the extraordinary continent. You will be my first batch of citizens. Next, we will lead everyone and create miracles. Feng Wuan looked at the 1.7 to 8 million people below and smiled. She said calmly as if she was stating a fact. Everyone below widened their eyes. They looked at the queen who was emitting flames and were in a daze. This kind of absurd and whimsical thing seemed to be coming true from her mouth. This made them feel that they might be a little crazy, but they actually believed her words. Next, I will quickly transform Dragon Phoenix City and build a city guard team. Everyone, please do your own things now. After Feng Wuan finished speaking, she flew down directly. Wang Xian followed her back to the mayor's residence. Oh my God, that beauty! No, our queen, she actually built a dynasty in our Holy Sea Town. We can't call it Holy Sea Town anymore. We should call it Dragon Phoenix City instead. The array formation the queen brought out is so powerful, and the spiritual energy here is increasing rapidly. It's not just spiritual energy. I can feel the water energy falling on my body, and now my whole body is feeling very comfortable. Haha, in the future, when our Holy Sea Town has these arrays, the demon beasts and fierce beasts attacking the city are just courting death. Exactly. With our 4 arrays and Lord Wang's arrays, even insightful emptiness realm experts can't do anything to us. Besides, the Dragon Phoenix City now can't even be compared to those big cities in the empires. Our queen was brought here by Lord Wang. I wonder what the relationship between Lord Wang and her is. I saw them when they were passing by the city. They seem to be very close to Lord Wang. Alright. The queen's private affairs are not something that we can discuss. We will definitely have good fortune after surviving a great disaster. Haha. In the future, when the academy is established, the insightful emptiness realm expert will be the principal. There will be abundant spiritual energy and strong instructors here. Perhaps my child will also be able to become a hero like Lord Wang. When they saw the queen leave, all the citizens had excited expressions as they started chatting. As they looked at the sky, they suddenly felt that it was extremely blue and filled with hope. Especially when the queen said, "I am the queen." It made their blood boil. They had the urge to fight for the queen. In just a few minutes, Feng Wuan had won the hearts of everyone. Impressive, as expected of the #1 empress of all time. Wang Xian looked at Feng Wuan with a smile. Even without me, you can win the hearts of the people. Without you, it would be much more troublesome. Feng Wuan shook her head. If she were to attack a city, the city lord's mansion would definitely gather the entire city's strength to defend the city. If someone was defending the city, she would have to kill the person defending the city. Once someone was killed, the family members of the person defending the city would resent her. Even if she were to take out so many treasures, it would still cause the family members who died defending the city to resent her. They might even take revenge. And here, with Wang Xian around, the hearts of the people were united. She only took out some treasures and gathered the hearts of the people. In front of the people who had experienced despair, she was naturally extremely grateful. A large part of the reason was still because of Wang Xian. I'll return in a while. You guys stand still. I'm going to officially enter the Transcendence continent. Wang Xian looked at Feng Wuan and said with fighting spirit in his eyes. Okay, call me when you've migrated over. I'll go meet Sister Shu Qing and the rest. Feng Wuan nodded. Okay. Wang Xian smiled. Here are the remaining pills. Take them. Feng Wuan gave him the remaining pills from the sale of the half-step void interpretation bloodline. Wang Xian stretched out his hand and took them. A smile appeared on his face. Alright, I'm leaving. Be careful of the Star Moon Kingdom. Yes, the Star Moon Kingdom will not mobilize all their forces just because of a town. Feng Wuan nodded at him. Let's go. Wang Xian shouted softly. With a move of his body, he flew directly to the location of the Earth's passageway. Ao Jian and the group of strange demons immediately followed behind. Feng Wuan looked at Wang Xian's figure and revealed a smile. Empress, young Master Wang's subordinates have all made breakthroughs in just half a month. It's especially so for those kinds of creatures. It's absolutely easy for them to assassinate martial artists, who are at level 9 of the extraordinary realm. The one who combines light and darkness has reached the peak below the void interpretation realm. The old lady looked at Wang Xian's figure and whispered, Xiao Yun, I might not be able to return to the peak in the future history of the Transcendence continent, but he will definitely be able to stand at the peak of the Transcendence continent and be worshipped by all races. Feng Wuan's eyes flickered as she said, Oh! A trace of shock appeared in the old woman's eyes. This was the first time she had heard the Empress say such words. She looked at the gradually disappearing figure in astonishment, and a smile appeared on her face. If he is really like what the Empress said, then this young Master Wang will help you return to your peak. I want to do it myself. Feng Wan's face revealed a resolute expression, followed by a valiant smile, as she went to deal with the problem of Dragon Phoenix City. I wonder what Xu Qing and the rest are doing? Are they still in seclusion? This is the longest time I have been away. Wang Xian smiled and entered the ocean. When Wang Xian was about to reach the passageway, he was astonished. With a thought, he flew to the left. That's Ao Qitian. Wang Xian looked over and saw Ao Qitian and Ba Qi attacking a 5-headed giant squid that was at Transcendent Level 5. Ao Qitian and Ba Qi were both at Transcendent Level 4. However, due to their blood barbarians, there was no problem for them to fight above their level. The 5-headed giant squid was about to be killed by them. Dragon King! Dragon King! Ao Qitian and Ba Qi also sensed Wang Xian's arrival. They turned around and shouted excitedly. Not bad. Let's go. Let's go back first. Wang Xian looked at them with satisfaction on his face. The last time they returned to the Dragon Palace, he had asked Prime Minister Gui to send people into the Transcendence continent to hunt ferocious beasts. Based on Ao Qitian and Ba Qi's abilities, their gains were not bad. It's the Dragon King. The two of them nodded respectfully. They put away the corpses of the 5 giant squid and swam toward the passage. This time around, it's time for the Dragon Palace to conquer the extraordinary mainland. Wang Xian moved his body and returned to the Dragon Palace through the passage. He was familiar with the Dragon Palace and was surrounded by the Water Tribe cultivators. This made him smile. He slowly walked to the Dragon King's palace. Greetings, Dragon King. The Water Tribe members who had learned of his arrival stood respectfully at the Dragon King's palace and shouted loudly. Chapter 11:11. The Arrival of the Dragon Palace. Prime Minister Gui, Ao Qitian, Ao Nu, Ao Shi, Ao Yeka, Ao Qi and Ba Qi, the 7 high-level officials of the Dragon Palace, together with Ao Jian and Ao Yao, were the current pillars of the Dragon Palace. Prime Minister Gui was in charge of the overall situation. Ao Qitian was in charge of the Devil War Department. Ao Nu was in charge of the environment in the Dragon Palace, and Ao Shi was in charge of the Internal Affairs Department. Ao Yeka was in charge of the Dragon Defense Department, patrolling the 4 seas. Ao Qi was in charge of the Thunder Department, while Ba Qi was a technician who was in charge of developing poisons. Ao Jian was in charge of the Golden Swordfish clan and belonged to the guards of the Dragon Palace. Ao Yao was in charge of the Dragon Spur Department and was in charge of assassinations. Wang Xian looked at his subordinates in front of the Dragon King's hall with a satisfied expression on his face. Although other than Ao Jian and Ao Yao, the rest of them were very weak. Their potential was limitless. Among them, all of them were at Transcendent Level 4. Ao Shrimpy and Ao Nu were slightly weaker. I have something important to announce upon my return. Wang Xian looked at them and said directly. Prime Minister Gui and the rest bowed and waited for Wang Xian's words. In 7 days, I will move the Dragon Palace to the Transcendence continent. At that time, we will develop in the dangerous Transcendence continent. Wang Xian glanced at all of them and said, Before we develop, I will improve your strength first. Prime Minister Gui, gather all the members of the Dragon Palace. It's the Dragon King. Prime Minister Gui nodded respectfully. Where are the Dragon Queens? Wang Xian looked at Ao Nu and asked her. The Dragon Queens are cultivating in the bedroom. Ao Nu replied respectfully. Okay, I'll go over first. Wang Xian nodded. His body moved, and he went straight to the Dragon King's bedroom. Looking at the 6 girls who were sitting cross-legged on the big bed and cultivating, Wang Xian smiled. My babies, I'm back. Wang Xian chuckled, and his voice echoed in their minds. The group of girls were awakened by him. When they opened their eyes and saw Wang Xian, they were pleasantly surprised. Haha! Wang Xian pounced on him shamelessly. After leaving for such a long time, he really missed him to death. You only know how to do this when you just arrived. You annoying fellow. The tens of thousands of words that could not be described were omitted. After 6 hours, Wang Xian walked out in high spirits. Following him were 6 beautiful women, who were beaming with happiness. I'm going to raise the strength of the Dragon Palace. All of you follow me. Wang Xian looked at the members of the Dragon Palace, who had been waiting for a few hours. He smiled and flew over. All right, little Xian. The group of girls followed behind him happily. Dragon King, Dragon Queen, all the members of the Dragon Palace are here. Prime Minister Gui said respectfully when he saw them coming. Wang Xian nodded and looked over. The Dragon Palace currently had a total of 3,560 members, including about 900 members from the Demon War Department. The Dragon Palace had the largest number of members. The rest of the Hag clan, the Thunder Shrimp clan, and the Golden Swordfish clan only had 300 to 400 members. The Strange Demon clan had the smallest number of members, only 156. However, the Strange Demon clan was also the strongest. When Wang Xian came to the Dragon Palace for the second time, he had increased the strength of a group of strange demons. Now there were 20 strange demons who had reached Transcendent level rank 3. The strength of the 9 flood dragons had also reached Transcendent level rank 3. Out of the 3,500 members, only half of them had reached the Transcendent level. There were also many who were at the level of upper-level immortals on Earth, and were half-step into the Transcendent level. Other than the few subordinates that Wang Xian had subdued back then, the rest of them were the dolphins. The dolphins in Tang Yinxian cultivated a special type of sound wave. When Tang Yinxian had broken through to the Transcendent stage, she had comprehended a supernatural ability. It was a water attribute supernatural ability. It used a special wave to boost the morale of the troops, the clarity of mind, energy recovery, and injury recovery of the creatures covered by the supernatural ability would be doubled. This was a very abnormal divine ability, but it was only effective on creatures of the same or lower level. For those creatures that were stronger than her, the divine ability had no effect on them. The other members of the Dragon Palace had different types. There were sea snakes, sea turtles, all kinds of sea fish, and all kinds of sea beasts. This group of chaotic creatures took up half of the total number. Ao Jian, have all the corpses been placed beside the dragon pool? Wang Xian asked Ao Jian. Dragon King, 1/3 of the corpses have been placed there. There are too many corpses in the storage bag. Ao Jian said. All right, everyone head to the dragon pool. Wang Xian walked in front and headed towards the dragon pool. Inside the dragon pool, there were 9 divine dragons spiraling on the dragon pillars. Their huge dragon heads were spitting out streams of bright red blood. At this moment, the dragon pool that could accommodate thousands of people had already reached 80% of dragon blood. This was the first time that so much dragon blood was stored in the dragon pool. However, this amount of dragon blood was not even used on 1/3 of the corpses. So much dragon blood. It was the first time that Guan Shuqing, Lan Qingyue, and the other 6 girls had seen so much dragon blood. They were very clear about the value of dragon blood. Hee, it's time to upgrade the strength of the Dragon Palace. After this upgrade, the Dragon Palace will be transferred to the Transcendence continent. At that time, all of you will be with me. Wang Xian smiled. Wow, that's great. In that case, we can be together every day. The 6 girls were filled with joy. Prime Minister Gui, Ao Qitian, the 7 of you will enter first. After upgrading your strength to level 6 of the Transcendence, come out immediately. Wang Xian said to them. It's the Dragon King. The leaders of the Dragon Palace entered the dragon pool directly and began to raise their strength rapidly. Members of the Strange Demon clan, enter the dragon pool and raise your strength to Transcendent level 6. In addition, choose to advance your dragon species as the Light Spike. 9 dragons, enter the dragon pool and raise your level to Transcendent level 6. Wang Xian looked at the 12 dragons of the Bizarre Demon clan and gave his order. The Bizarre Demon clan's development in the Transcendent continent was of utmost importance. Therefore, the Bizarre Demon clan had to be strong. The 12 dragons were the future divine wind dragons. Naturally, they couldn't fall behind. Thank you, Dragon King. The group of bizarre demons and the 12 dragons immediately jumped into the dragon pool. Dolphins, enter the dragon pool and level up your cultivation to Transcendent Level 5. Wang Xian looked at the over 200 dolphins and ordered. Thank you, Dragon King. Over 200 dolphins, each 2 to 3 meters in size. Their eyes were filled with wisdom as they entered the dragon pool directly. Wang Xian watched them enter the dragon pool and didn't say anything else. To Wang Xian, the dolphins were an important race in the Dragon Palace. Their demonic sound was their strongest technique. They were extremely useful in large-scale battles. The strength of the dolphins could not be too low. Xiao Xian, I have something to tell you. At this moment, Lan Qingyue, who was standing at the side, looked at Wang Xian and said suddenly, What is it? Wang Xian looked at her in astonishment. After entering the extraordinary continent, I want to bring Xiao Lan out to explore. Chapter 11-12, The Dragon Palace Descended. You want to bring Xiao Lan to explore alone? This won't do. Qingwei. Upon hearing Lan Qingyue's words, Wang Xian's face was filled with astonishment. He quickly shook his head. Actually, some time ago, I wanted to enter the Transcendence continent, but I was stopped by Prime Minister Gui. Lan Qingyue looked at Wang Xian with a hint of determination in her eyes. Following her gaze, she looked at the top of the Dragon Palace. Boom! At this moment, a huge object blocked the sky above. It had a gray body and was extremely huge. It looked like a prehistoric giant beast. The Kuan was one of the most powerful creatures in the universe. When Wang Xian left, the Kuan that Lan Qingyue raised was only about 300 meters long. Now it was at least 600 to 700 meters long. Xiao Lan went to the south and north poles that the Dragon Palace has never been to before. She devoured 80% of the creatures there. Now, her cultivation has reached Transcendent Level 6. My strength has also reached Transcendent Level 5. There is no room for Xiao Lan on Earth anymore. I am prepared to go to the Transcendence continent with her. As Lan Qingyue spoke, her body emitted a gray energy. Furthermore, Xiao Xian, I have inherited the inheritance of the ancient god who raised the Kuan master. I have become the last bloodline of the ancient god race. I want to help you and not drag you down. Wang Xian looked at her and was slightly silent. Lan Qingyue had obtained the inheritance. It was the best inheritance in the universe. There were only a few that could be compared to her. The Kuan of the ancient god race dared to devour the divine dragons and phoenixes, as well as all kinds of top-tier races. A Kuan that had grown up was not weaker than the top-tier dragon kings of the divine dragons. After obtaining such an inheritance, Lan Qingyue wanted to become stronger, help him, and show the glory of the ancient god clan. Qingyue, I'm afraid that you will be in danger. The extraordinary continent is not Earth. There are countless level 6 extraordinary creatures there. Your and Xiaolan's strength is not enough to deal with the unknown danger. Wang Xian said with some worry. Xiao Xian, don't worry. The ancient god clan was once hunted down by all the major races in the universe. They are definitely top-notch when it comes to avoiding danger. Moreover, I don't think that an extraordinary continent can cause the death of an ancient god-level Kuan master, even though he is just an ancient god-level Kuan master, who has just obtained the inheritance. Lan Qingyue smiled and said confidently. Wang Xian saw her determined look and touched her face. I have 2 void interpretation level corpses here. In a while, pass one of the transformed dragon blood to Xiao Lan. Thank you, Xiao Xian. Lan Qingyue kissed him happily. Wang Xian smiled and said, Where's Xiao Yu? I wonder how long it will take for her to return from this trip to the extraordinary continent. Little sister Xiao Yu came back a few days ago. She even said to inform her next time if you are here. Guan Xuqing replied to Wang Xian. Okay, inform her and ask her if she is going to the supernatural continent. Wang Xian hesitated for a moment before replying. All right, let's inform little sister Xiao Yu. The few girls nodded their heads. Wang Xian looked at the sky and flew into the sky. On Earth, due to the gravitational force, his speed was 10 times faster than that of the extraordinary continent. The destructive force that he could cause was several times greater than that of the extraordinary continent. With a single attack, he could cover an area of 10 kilometers. He could easily destroy a huge mountain. Looking around, he could see a location of 50 to 60 kilometers with his dragon eyes of light and dark fire. The entire Earth had undergone tremendous changes. Martial arts had gradually replaced science and technology. Under the nurturing of the spiritual energy, the Earth's gravitational force will also increase. At that time, it might reach a balance with the Transcendence continent. At that time, it might not be able to fly until one has reached transcendence. Wang Xian arrived in the sky above a city within a dozen seconds. Looking at the lush and verdant city below, he thought to himself. After taking a round, Wang Xian returned to the Dragon Palace. In the next few days, Wang Xian stayed in the Dragon Palace. The strength of the members of the Dragon Palace was improving at a terrifying speed. There were hundreds of thousands of corpses, including many high-level corpses. This was a huge improvement to the Dragon Palace. In the past few days, Ao Yao, Ao Jian, and the rest led Prime Minister Gui to the Sea of the Supernatural Continent. They were searching for the location of the Dragon Palace. Brother. On this day, Xiaoyu and Feng Lingtian arrived at the Dragon Palace. Xiaoyu ran over excitedly and hung herself on Wang Xian's body. Alright, you're already married. You're such a big girl. Wang Xian patted her head with a smile on his face. Brother, how many days will you be staying for this time? Xiaoyu asked hurriedly. I might be staying for 4 to 5 days. I'll be leaving in 4 to 5 days. Furthermore, I'm preparing to move the Dragon Palace to the supernatural continent. Wang Xian looked at Xiaoyu and said lovingly. Ah, Xiaoyu was slightly shocked. She stared at him with her eyes wide open. Her face was a little anxious. I want to ask if you guys are going to the Transcendence continent or staying on Earth. Wang Xian looked at Xiaoyu and then at Feng Lingtian before asking directly. That brother-in-law of mine, I have long thought of this day. It is very difficult for me to step into a higher realm while I am on Earth. My lifespan is no more than 500 years. Unless I improve my strength, I will finally be able to reach a higher realm. Feng Lingtian, who was standing at the side, smiled. His eyes were shining. The great Tao of humanity was eternal life. In this environment on Earth, it was probably the peak for extraordinary experts to appear. If one wanted to step into a higher realm, the only way was to enter a higher world. Yes, brother. From now on, we will live in the Dragon Palace and fight side by side with the Dragon Palace. Xiaoyu seemed to have thought of this day as well. Without much hesitation, she said directly. All right. Wang Xian revealed a smile. Brother-in-law, when you enter the dragon pool later, I will teach you the cultivation method of the wind god dragon. Feng Lingtian revealed an excited expression and nodded quickly. Xiaoyu's willingness to enter the extraordinary continent with him was somewhat out of his expectations. However, this was the most perfect thing. Time passed day by day as batches of members of the Dragon Palace entered the dragon pool. The dragon blood was being consumed rapidly. Roar, 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 buzz, 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 buzz. A week after Wang Xian returned to the Dragon Palace, a roar that sounded like the end of the world was heard from the sky above the Dragon Palace. The roar was extremely loud, and it even spread across a radius of several thousand kilometers. All the humans who heard the roar had a look of shock in their eyes. A koan that is half a step into the void interpretation realm. With such power, it shouldn't be a problem for it to kill a first-level void interpretation realm expert. Looking at Xiaolan, who was more than 1,000 meters in the sky above the Dragon Palace, Wang Xian felt his scalp tingling. After consuming a large amount of dragon blood, including the corpse of the leader of the blood barbaric demon beast, its strength had directly increased to half a step into the void interpretation realm. It was invincible. Dragon King, we have already chosen the location of the Dragon Palace. At this time, Prime Minister Gui came to report. Good, then get ready to descend to the extraordinary continent. Chapter 11-13. Level 3 Dragon Palace. In 7 days, the group of girls had settled everything on Earth. Xiao Yu and Feng Lingtian had also settled everything at home. Feng Lingtian's father Ling Xiao did not follow them. Looking at the dark passage, everyone in the Dragon Palace was excited. A fighting spirit was emitted from their bodies. At this moment, there were 800 demon monkeys of the Demon War Department standing behind Wang Xian. All of them had the strength of level 4 transcendence. The 800 members of the Thunder Department were also at level 4 transcendence. The 800 members of the Dragon Defense Department were all at level 4 transcendence. The 400 members of the Golden Swordfish clan of the Dragon Guards were all at level 4 transcendence, other than Ao Jian's 11 strong ones. There were 100 members of the 8-headed poison-making department who were at transcendent level 4. There were 220 dolphins, and all of them had reached transcendent level 5. There were 150 bizarre demons. The current bizarre demons could be called light spikes. This group of light spikes didn't include the bizarre demons who had followed Wang Xian previously. The 150 bizarre demons and the reserve members of the dragon spikes had all reached transcendent level 6. There were also 50 civil officials trained by Prime Minister Gui and 100 members in charge of the Dragon Palace. The members of the various races who had broken through the Dragon Gate had all chosen a direction of evolution to make up for the various legions of the Dragon Palace. There were a total of more than 3,500 members of the Dragon Palace. This was the full strength of the Dragon Palace. It was not strong, but it was definitely not weak. The main reason was that the Light Thorn tribe was the strongest. With 150 light thorns, they were able to assassinate an enemy at level 8 extraordinary. In addition to the 20 people who had reached level 7 extraordinary in Ao Yaozai, the strength of Wang Xian's subordinates was only slightly weaker than the Phoenix and Dragon Army. This is a new journey. We must let the Dragon Palace stand at the top of the extraordinary continent. Wang Xian was also extremely excited. We will fight for the Dragon King and the Dragon Palace to the death. The members of the Dragon Palace roared loudly. Alright, Ao Yao Yao, Ao Jian, you guys lead the way. Everyone enter the passageway. Wang Xian waved his arm and said directly. Yes. Ao Yao Yao, Ao Jian, was the first to enter the passageway. Behind him, Prime Minister Gui and the rest followed closely behind. One by one, the members of the Dragon Palace entered the passageway. In the end, Xu Qing, the girls Xiao Yu, and the rest also entered the passageway. Move the Dragon Palace to the other end of the passageway. After everyone left, Wang Xian looked at the Dragon Palace and thought to himself, Ding! Congratulations to the host for conquering the ocean of a planet. In order to leave behind the race of the divine dragons on this planet, the system will establish a level 1 Dragon Palace to remain on Earth. At this moment the system's voice sounded. Wang Xian was stunned for a moment before a smile appeared on his face. This time, Wang Xian had left behind some foundations on Earth after entering the extraordinary mainland. Prime Minister Gui left behind a few civil servants and a few subordinates of the Dragon Palace on Earth. They taught the Water Tribe who had potential and nurtured them into strong individuals. They were continuously transported to the Dragon Palace on the extraordinary mainland. However, the system was even more considerate and left behind a level 1 Dragon Palace. Let's go. The huge Dragon Palace entered the extraordinary mainland through a passageway. A miniature version of a level 1 Dragon Palace appeared beside it. Wang Xian's body moved and entered the extraordinary mainland through the passageway. At the last moment, a gigantic object that was more than 1,000 meters long entered the passageway. Let's go. The Dragon Palace appeared out of thin air in the ocean of the extraordinary mainland. The gigantic Dragon Palace descended to the bottom of the ocean like a miracle. The Dragon Palace with a radius of 20 kilometers instantly attracted the attention of all the ferocious beasts and demonic beasts in the surroundings. Let's go over immediately. Wang Xian moved his body, and the members of the Dragon Palace entered the Dragon Palace in an instant. They were observing their surroundings. Boom! At this moment, the Dragon Palace suddenly trembled. The formation protecting the Dragon Palace was shattered. This is bad. A level 2 Dragon Palace can't withstand the attacks of the creatures of the extraordinary mainland. Wang Xian's expression changed slightly. He transformed into a divine dragon and let out a dragon's roar. Xiaolan. Lan Qingyue immediately shouted at Xiaolan, who was following behind. Xiaolan's body shook, and a terrifying aura spread out in the surroundings instantly. The 5 giant squid that was attacking the Dragon Palace turned into a bloody mist and entered its body after being knocked lightly by it. Aoyao, your clan will be around to prevent other ferocious beasts from attacking. Let's go. Controlling the Dragon Palace, they flew quickly towards the base of the Dragon Palace. In fact, this was not the first time Wang Xian had come to the base of the Dragon Palace. He was no stranger to it. The Sea Mountain region was not far from the current Dragon Phoenix City. Mountain peaks stretched out from the sea, but this did not affect the migration of the Dragon Palace. On the contrary, this was the most suitable place in the vicinity. The sea here was more than 20,000 meters deep, which was close to the extraordinary mainland. There were no powerful fierce beasts or demon beasts around. However, even if it was close to the sea, a dragon palace with a circumference of 20 kilometers had traveled dozens of kilometers, which caused a huge sensation at the bottom of the sea. Fierce beasts swam over quickly. When they saw the dragon palace, their eyes were filled with greed. Some of the ferocious beasts flew towards the Dragon Palace recklessly and were killed by Ao Yaoyao and Ao Jian. I have to upgrade the Dragon Palace to level 3. Wang Xian looked at the level 2 Dragon Palace. The ferocious beasts from the supernatural continent could basically break through the array formation and enter the Dragon Palace directly. He looked at the items in his interspatial ring and smiled. It was not very difficult for the Dragon Palace to upgrade to level 3. The spiritual stones only required 100 million middle-grade spiritual stones, the array formation of the supernatural level, and various materials. When he was in Dragon Phoenix City, Wang Xian had collected the corpses of the ocean cultivators. The interspatial rings of the tens of thousands of soldiers were also in his hands. The items inside were sufficient to upgrade the level of the Dragon Palace. The materials required for the construction of the Dragon Palace have always been a benefit given by the system. Wang Xian was full of smiles as he looked ahead. The Sea Mountain region appeared in front of him. Buzz! Wang Xian moved the Dragon Palace to the center of the Sea Mountain region. It occupied a quarter of the entire Sea Mountain region. Boom! When the Dragon Palace landed at the bottom of the sea, it was perfectly compatible with the surrounding environment. The upgrade of the Dragon Palace requires 100 million middle-grade spirit stones and 10 extraordinary grade formations. Wang Xian looked at the requirements for the upgrade and took out the items from his interspatial ring. I found 10 extraordinary level formations. Do you want to merge them to upgrade the Dragon Formation? I found 10 million middle-grade spirit stones and 5 tons of extraordinary materials to upgrade the Dragon King Palace. One by one, the materials were taken out and quickly absorbed by the Dragon Palace. Ding! All the buildings in the Dragon Palace have been upgraded to level 3. The Dragon Palace has been upgraded. At this moment, the Dragon Palace began to undergo a tremendous change at the bottom of the sea, which was 20,000 meters below the sea. All the buildings were expanding at a terrifying speed. The ocean-pacifying needle, which was more than 100 meters tall, slowly became more than 500 meters tall. The Dragon King Palace, which was about 2,000 meters wide, became 5 times bigger, and the 50-meter-long dragon throne became 100 meters long. The Dragon Palace was evolving rapidly. Chapter 11-14 New Journey. Dragon Palace, Level 3. Dragon Lord, Wang Xian, Extraordinary 7th Level 5 Elemental Divine Dragon. Buildings, Dragon King Palace. Level 3, raises the Dragon King's cultivation speed and recovery speed by 2,400%. Dragon Transformation Pool. Level 3, absorbing dragon blood can give birth to a dragon seed, dragon blood. 1432. Dragon Gate. Level 3. A fish can only become a dragon after leaping through the Dragon Gate. Effective against creatures below the Void Interpretation level. Ocean Pacifying Needle. Level 3. Pillar of the Dragon Palace. Set 500 kilometers of the Dragon Palace to be calm. Increase the combat strength of the members of the Dragon Palace by 300%. Dragon Cave. Level 3. With 6,000 Dragon Caves, the cultivation speed of the creatures in the Dragon Cave will be increased by 1,600%. Dragon Field. Level 3. Practice martial arts in the Dragon Field. Increase comprehension by 800%. Dragon Array. Level 3. Dragon Palace Array. Concealment, defense, gathering of spiritual energy, teleportation detection. Spiritual items. Ancestral Tree. Level. Able to return souls to creatures below transcendent level. Activate spiritual intelligence of creatures. Increases the speed of fire attribute cultivators by 200%. Attached. Dragon Transformation Pool to nurture dragon seeds. Current dragon seeds. Golden Swordfish, Thunder Shrimp, Demon Monkey, Strange Demon, Light Spike, Hydra, Dragon Turtle, Yiksha, Clam Girl, Golden Lobster. Boom. 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 Waves of spiritual energy gathered toward the Dragon Palace. The Dragon Palace, which had only occupied a quarter of the sea mountain area, now completely covered the sea mountain area. Even on the transcendent continent, which was rich in spiritual energy, the upgrading of the Dragon Palace and the upgrading of the powerful buildings caused a storm within a few hundred kilometers. A large amount of spiritual energy gathered toward this direction. At this moment, the Dragon Palace was comparable to the top-notch Grotto Heaven Paradise on the transcendent continent. The spiritual chi in the Dragon King Palace was 24 times that of the outside world. What kind of concept was this? 1 day of cultivation here was equivalent to 24 days in the outside world. Even the Dragon Cave where the members of the Dragon Palace lived had 16 times the spiritual chi of the outside world. This terrifying enhancement was definitely a top-notch cultivation place on the transcendent continent. Furthermore, a Dragon Palace that had advanced to level 3 would have a formation that could withstand the attacks of creatures below the Void Interpretation level. Under such concealment, only experts at the Void Interpretation level would be able to discover the existence of the Dragon Palace. Creatures at the Transcendence level would not be able to discover the Dragon Palace at all. Compared to a level 2 Dragon Palace, the effect of a level 3 Dragon Palace had doubled. Wang Xian revealed an excited expression. Prime Minister Gui and the other members of the Dragon Palace were also filled with excitement. With the improvement of the Dragon Palace, their cultivation speed would be doubled. Even if they didn't have any resources, all the members of the Dragon Palace would be able to advance to the Insightful Void tier after 10 years of dedicated cultivation. After all, they possessed the bloodline of the Divine Dragon. 10 years of cultivation here was equivalent to 160 years of cultivation in the outside world. What dense spiritual energy! Oh my god! Feng Lingtian felt the spiritual energy here, and his body trembled slightly. Damn it, he had a bright future following his brother-in-law. Just by cultivating in the Dragon Palace, he was able to reach a realm that he could not imagine. This is our starting point, and the beginning of a new journey for the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian floated in the sky above the Dragon Palace, and looked at the Dragon Palace with a circumference of 80 kilometers. His gaze landed on the members of the Dragon Palace as he said in a deep voice, "It won't be long before our Dragon Palace will stand on this continent and become the master of this ocean." Prime Minister Gui said confidently. Prime Minister Gui, organize it. First, guarantee the safety of the area within 1,000 kilometers. Then, we will formulate a development plan. Wang Xian ordered Prime Minister Gui. It's the Dragon King. Prime Minister Gui nodded his head heavily and immediately organized it. They had just arrived at the extraordinary mainland, so they had to understand their surroundings and make plans for the future development of the Dragon Palace. The Dragon Palace has changed so much that it covers an area of 80 kilometers. Even Little Blue can enter the Dragon Palace. And this ocean is so deep. It's more than 20,000 meters deep. It's so shocking. The 6 girls looked around in shock, their eyes full of joy. The Dragon Palace, which had been upgraded to level 3, was even more magnificent. However, with such a large area, it seemed that there were fewer members in the Dragon Palace. The area of 80 kilometers is already bigger than Dragon Phoenix City. Moreover, Dragon Phoenix City can't be compared to my Dragon Palace at all. If Feng Wuan were to see this place, I wonder if she would be extremely envious. As Wang Xian thought of this, a smile appeared on his face as he brought a few girls around. The Dragon Palace enveloped over 1,000 mountain peaks. Under the modification of the system, these mountain peaks turned into dragon caves directly. The dragon field was divided into 2 regions, which could accommodate more than 100,000 people cultivating at the same time. The entire Dragon Palace was like a miracle. Wang Xian could guarantee that even the imperial capitals of the empires were not as magnificent as the Dragon Palace. They were also not as powerful as the Dragon Palace. Buzz! Suddenly, the sky above the Dragon Palace shook, and an image came from afar. It was a creature that was emitting a green glow. He looked very similar to a human, but the difference was that he had 2 green horns on his head. He had a pair of mystical green eyes. There were 3 red dots connected to each other in his eyes. He looked extremely mystical. His body size was similar to that of a human. His arms were much longer than a human's. They were extremely slender, and were covered in green scales. This is the effect of the detection formation after the upgrade of the Dragon Palace. It can detect any threatening creatures within a 50-kilometer radius of the Dragon Palace. This creature that is similar to a human should be a type of demonic beast. Furthermore, it should be in existence at the insightful void tier. Wang Xian had a solemn expression on his face. This green humanoid creature had a bow on its back and was extremely agile. His eyes were looking in the direction of the Dragon Palace in disbelief. Whoosh! 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 At this moment, more than 300 similar creatures appeared in the scouting of the Dragon Palace. One could clearly see the difference between men and women. If not for the color of their bodies, the horns on their heads, and their slender arms, they were almost the same as humans. This is a group of demonic beasts. Their strength is not weak, and they have an existence at the void interpretation level. They have discovered the Dragon Palace. They might not be friendly. Wang Xian's eyes flickered. Dragon King, there's an invasion. All the members of the Dragon Palace are ready to fight. The enemy might have an expert at the void interpretation level. However, we have Xiaolan and Ao Yao. With the enhancement of the Dragon Palace, we can deal with the enemy. At this moment, Prime Minister Gui flew over and reported to Wang Xian hurriedly. Let's go out. Let's see what the enemy wants to do first. Once they show any hostility, leave no one alive. Wang Xian nodded and flew toward the west gate. At this moment, under the detection of the array formation of the Dragon Palace, the first demonic beast that arrived was standing on the ground. He crouched on the ground carefully and looked at the majestic underwater city in shock. Behind him, the clansmen carefully laid on the ground and moved forward without making a sound. Chapter 11:15. Eye of the Wind, Arrow of the Wind. Dragon King, this should be a race of demonic beasts. Furthermore, they are not weak. At the west gate of the Dragon Palace, Wang Xian looked ahead. Behind him, a group of members of the Dragon Palace followed behind him. Other than the leaders of the strange demon clan and Prime Minister Gui, most of the subordinates of the Dragon Palace had the strength of a level 5 extraordinary being. With the divine dragon bloodline, they were able to unleash the combat strength of level 6 extraordinary. With the enhancement of the array formation of the Dragon Palace, their strength could be tripled, and they could unleash the strength of level 7 extraordinary. With over 3,000 warriors of the Dragon Palace, in addition to Xiaolan's strength, The strength of the Dragon Palace could be considered a powerful race of demonic beasts at the bottom of the sea. Wang Xian nodded his head and looked at the group of demonic beasts that were carefully sneaking over. Get ready to welcome them. Wang Xian walked out slowly and stared ahead. Hide in the surroundings. Prime Minister Gui waved his hand at the group of members of the Dragon Palace behind him and ordered. Yes. Ao Qitian, Ao Qi, and Ao Jian immediately led their subordinates and hid behind the surrounding mountains. The strange monster clan immediately disappeared. Under the detection of the array formation, 300 green figures with longbows on their backs slowly approached. The figure at the front looked around vigilantly. A huge building suddenly appeared at the bottom of the sea. Even if he was a profound void-tier creature, he was still extremely fearful. What kind of power could directly build a group of buildings at the bottom of the sea? Such a vast amount of spiritual energy is gathering here. This must be a paradise. If we can cultivate here, our Wendai clan will definitely be able to improve quickly. The green eyes of the figure at the front flickered as he looked at the sky, flickering with an unknown luster. Oh my God, what a magnificent building! What's that pillar? It's emitting golden light. It's too terrifying. How could such a majestic underwater city appear out of thin air? At the back, all the creatures of the Wendai clan were staring at this place in shock with green light flashing in their eyes. Although their strength had not reached the profound void tier, their powerful ocular arts allowed them to see through the formation. Looking at the golden ocean pacifying divine needle that was hundreds of meters tall in front of them, their faces were filled with shock. We've been discovered. When the creature at the front saw Prime Minister Wang Xiangui and the rest who were standing in front of the west gate of the Dragon Gate, he was slightly shocked. Oh, they saw us from a distance of 10 kilometers. It seems that this demonic beast race also possesses ocular skills. Wang Xian and the demonic beast looked at each other. He could tell that the other party had already seen him. May I know why all of you have come to my Dragon Palace? Wang Xian asked the creature in a deep voice. The creature that was lying on the ground hesitated for a moment before standing up. The group of people from the Wendai clan behind him also stood up when they saw Wang Xian. They frowned and looked ahead. Leader Wei, an aged creature from the Wendai clan, walked forward. He looked at the leader at the front and said, "Let's go and take a look. This underwater city that suddenly appeared is too close to our lair. We have to know if it's a friend or foe." The creature standing at the front had a thoughtful look on his face. After hesitating for a moment, he walked towards the front. The group of people following behind did not hesitate at all. They followed behind and walked towards the direction of the Dragon Palace. The group of creatures from the Wendai clan at the back took down the longbow on their back. They scanned their surroundings vigilantly. Looking at the Wendai clan who was walking towards the Dragon Palace, Wang Xian sized them up from head to toe. A demon beast at the void interpretation level should be at the first level of the void interpretation level. There were 3 to 4 half-step void interpretation level demon beasts. More than a dozen of them were at transcendent level 9. And the rest of them were all at least at transcendent level 6. The closer they got, the more shocked the people from the Phoenix Eye clan were. The leader who was walking at the front was also sizing up Prime Minister Wang Xiangui and the rest. His eyes were filled with astonishment. We are the Wendai Demon Beast clan. We are located more than 100 kilometers away from here. Just now we sensed a large amount of spiritual energy gathering here. We are here to investigate. What is your race? The leader of the Wendai clan stared at Prime Minister Wang Xiangui and the rest cautiously. Then he stopped 3 kilometers away. The people of the Wendai clan behind him looked around. The Wendai Demon Beast clan. Wang Xian looked at them with a twinkle in his eyes. We are from the Ocean Dragon clan. This will be our territory in the future. I wonder if you are interested in joining our dragon clan. Prime Minister Gui was carrying a turtle shell on his back. He sized them up and narrowed his eyes slightly. Prime Minister Gui's words made the leader of the Wendai clan alert. He looked at Prime Minister Gui and then at Wang Xian. Dragon Palace? What does it have to do with the dragon clan in the Sea of Dragons? He asked them with a twinkle in his eyes. It doesn't matter. I wonder if your Windeye clan is interested in joining our dragon palace. Prime Minister Gui said as he took 2 steps forward slowly. He looked at Wang Xian and said, "This is the Dragon King of our dragon palace. If you join the dragon palace, you will become citizens of the dragon palace and live in the dragon palace. Our dragon palace is a huge paradise. Cultivating in it is many times better than cultivating in the outside world." Prime Minister Gui said slowly as the turtle shell on his back shimmered. "I'm not interested." The leader of the Windeye clan shook his head slowly. "Then, do you guys want to be our guests?" Prime Minister Gui invited them with a smile on his face. "No need. We are just here to take a look." The leader of the Windeye clan shook his head warily. Wang Xian looked at Prime Minister Gui beside him and smiled. This Prime Minister Gui was really cunning. It was obvious that he wanted to subdue the Windeye clan. At the very least, he wanted to keep them here. Survival at the bottom of the sea. The strong preyed on the weak. If the Dragon Palace wanted to develop rapidly, the only way was to kill and subdue the ferocious beasts. There was no other way. On the way to the throne, there was no mercy. There was only fighting. "Everyone, since you are here, don't leave this place for unnecessary trouble." The turtle shell on Prime Minister Turtle's back trembled slightly. The Demon War Division, Thunder Division and Golden Swordfish Clan, who were hiding behind the surrounding mountains, were all standing on the mountains. Roar! A soft sound was heard. At the position of the Dragon Gate, Xiaolan, which was more than 1,000 meters in size, swam out slowly and hovered above Wang Xian and the rest. Her 2 eyes were bigger than a house. Her gray eyes were staring at everyone from the Windeye tribe. Hiss! What giant beast is this? 3 kilometers away, the expressions of the creatures from the Windeye tribe changed drastically. Just the visual impact of the giant beast, which was more than 1,000 meters in size, shocked them greatly. The expression of the Windeye race's leader also changed slightly. His eyes revealed a cold expression. "You are even more cunning than humans." Chapter 11:16 Submitted. The weak are prey to the strong, and the strong are the kings. Prime Minister Gui heard his words, and said indifferently without any expression. "If you are stronger than us, we are willing to submit to you and give this place to you." Prime Minister Gui continued with a genial expression. "If you feel that you are weaker than us, then join us. Don't worry. In our Dragon Palace, we will help you to improve your strength and your bloodline. Submitting to us is definitely the best choice for your Windeye clan." Wang Xian looked at Prime Minister Gui's expression and felt a little impressed. If Prime Minister Gui wasn't too hot-tempered, he wouldn't be as arrogant as if he would die if he didn't submit. He wouldn't be the slightest bit weak either. This head butler of the Dragon Palace did a good job. He was indeed a talent who was well-versed in all the history and literature on Earth. If Prime Minister Gui didn't use him 100%, Wang Xian wouldn't even dare to use such a person. Who knows when he would take you down? He was too awesome. HMPH, you guys don't have the ability to make us submit to you. The leader of the Windeye clan revealed an angry expression. With a move of his arm, the longbow on his back appeared in his hand. "Eye of the wind, arrow of the wind." He shouted softly and pulled his arm. A green arrow flashed with a green glow and shot towards Xiaolan in an instant. The terrifying arrow shot towards Blue's eyes. Blue saw the terrifying arrow and slowly closed its eyes. Gray energy flickered around its body as the gray energy gathered towards its eyelids. Boom! A terrifying explosion sounded, but the shockwave from the explosion was completely blocked by the gray energy on Blue's body. If it wasn't for its resistance, the aftershock alone would have affected a radius of 1,000 meters. What a terrifying attack. It's much stronger than the leader of the blood barbaric demonic beast. Wang Xian revealed a surprised expression, and his pupils contracted slightly. Clap, clap, clap. This leader is very strong. Speaking of which, he's much stronger than me. Prime Minister Gui saw the attack of the leader of the Windeye clan, and clapped with a smile on his face. Humph, let me tell you. The Windeye clan will not join your dragon palace. And you can forget about forcing us to join. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude. The leader of the Windeye clan narrowed his eyes slightly when he saw that the giant beast was not injured at all. Then he said with a cold face, "There are only benefits and no disadvantages for you to join our dragon palace." Prime Minister Gui was full of smiles. Then, he looked at the people behind the leader of the Windeye clan and said with a smile, "Let's do it." The moment he finished his words, bang, bang, bang. The sound of blows came from the back. Not good. Watch your back. Watch out. The faces of the entire Windeye clan changed dramatically as they shouted, "What is it?" However, when the group of Windeye clan's clansmen turned their heads to look, their expressions changed drastically. At this moment, there were already over 100 clansmen lying on the ground. Their bodies fell straight to the ground. They only saw a flash of white spots. In the end, over 100 clansmen were killed in an instant. "You dare to kill my clansmen?" The leader of the Windeye clan turned his gaze over. Streaks of blood appeared in his eyes as he furiously roared, Leader, they are not dead. They are just unconscious." A member of the Windeye clan hurriedly walked over to check and said, "What? They are not dead?" The leader of the Windeye clan let out a sigh of relief. "Yes, they are not dead. However, we can kill them easily. Our Dragon Palace sincerely invites all of you to join us." Prime Minister Gui's voice came through, and he said with a smile. The leader of the Windeye clan looked extremely embarrassed. This was a blatant threat. "What if I don't agree?" The leader of the Windeye clan asked with a dark face. "The strong prey on the weak, right?" Prime Minister Gui said with a smile. It was just the law of the jungle. He understood this principle. The strong prey on the weak. This was the survival rule of demon beasts, fierce beasts, and even humans, and even the entire transcendental continent. When the weak were killed, no one sympathized, because the strong wanted to develop. Feng Yan was slightly silent. He looked at his subordinates lying on the ground, his expression extremely unsightly. Just now, his gaze swept the surroundings, and he could see many spots of light hidden there. There were more than 100 of them. He could see the hidden demon beast race, but his clansmen, whose strength had not reached the profound void realm, could not discover them at all. At this moment, the group of light spots had already disappeared, and no one knew where they were hiding. This made him, who had an eye technique, extremely solemn. If he didn't submit, then the strong would prey on the weak. To put it simply, he wanted to attack them. He didn't dare to guarantee that he would be able to escape. This sudden appearance of the Dragon Palace was too mysterious. As for his clansmen, he was certain that they wouldn't be able to escape the assassination of the white spots. "We are not slaves to join you." The leader of the Windeye clan took a deep breath and said with an embarrassed expression, "We will not let a demon beast clan with a profound void martial artist become a slave. If you join the Dragon Palace, you will be the leader of the Wind Arrow Division of the Dragon Palace. Your position will be second only to Prime Minister Gui." At this moment, Wang Xian spoke directly. The leader of the Windeye clan looked at Wang Xian deeply. He gritted his sharp teeth and nodded his head heavily. "All right, our Windeye clan agrees. It's one thing for you to agree. You still need to pass through the Dragon Gate. Only by passing through the Dragon Gate will you be qualified to become a member of our Dragon Palace." Prime Minister Gui smiled and pointed at the Dragon Gate behind him. "It's just an entrance. What's so difficult about passing through it?" The leader of the Windeye clan had a solemn expression. "Take it." Wang Xian flicked his finger, and a drop of blood that was emitting a golden glow flew in front of the leader of the Windeye clan. Looking at this drop of blood, he was shocked. What kind of blood is this? How can it possess such pure energy and a vast will? "You'll know once you take it. Remember, don't resist," Wang Xian said solemnly. The leader of the Windeye clan showed hesitation on his face. In the end, he swallowed it directly. Instantly, the vast will wanted to enter his mind. "Don't resist. It won't hurt you at all." Wang Xian's voice rang out again, causing the leader of the Windeye clan to have a drastic change in expression. He could sense the terrifying bloodline contained in the blood, but he could also sense the will contained in the blood. Consuming it would bring unimaginable benefits to his bloodline, but he would have to pay a price. Consume it. It's a demon beast at the insightful void level. If he is unwilling, we can't subdue it at all. Wang Xian stared at the leader of the Wendai clan. After a full minute, a smile finally appeared on Wang Xian's face. Chapter 11-17. Star Moon Kingdom's Counterattack. Leader of the Wendai clan, Mao Zixin pays his respects to the Dragon King. I swear to follow the Dragon King to the death. In front of the Dragon Palace, the leader of the Wendai clan, a powerhouse at the first level of the see-through void stage, flew directly to Wang Xian's side and bowed respectfully to him. Mao Zixin, you guys have your own surnames? Wang Xian looked at Mao Zixin with a hint of surprise on his face. Yes, Dragon King. Our Wendai clan once entered human society and lived with humans for a period of time. However, we were betrayed by humans, so we returned to the ocean once again. Mao Zixin replied respectfully. Wang Xian nodded. It was not unusual for demonic beasts to live together with humans. Looking at the first expert of the Dragon Palace who was at the profound void tier, Wang Xian was very satisfied. He had just arrived at the Transcendence continent, but he had already subdued an expert of the profound void tier. This was great news. Moreover, with the addition of the Wendai clan, the Dragon Palace's strength would be much stronger. How many people are there in the Wendai clan? Wang Xian asked directly. Reporting to the Dragon King, there are a total of 430 people in the Wendai clan. The people who came with me are the main force of the Wendai clan. Mao Zixin replied respectfully. Call all your clansmen over and break through the Dragon Gate. Wang Xian gave him an order. After breaking through the Dragon Gate, they would officially become members of the Dragon Palace. Only then could they enter the Dragon Palace to cultivate. It's the Dragon King. Mao Zixin nodded. He looked behind and roared. His clansmen immediately flew over. Mao Zixin didn't pay much attention to Wang Xian at the beginning. From his senses, Wang Xian's strength had yet to reach the insightful void realm. He was willing to join the Dragon Palace because of Prime Minister Gui's threat. However, after consuming Wang Xian's bloodline, his vast will allowed him to consume Wang Xian 100%. Even his will was 100% obedient. Come and pay your respects to the Dragon King, Mao Zixin said directly to his clansmen. The members of the Wendai clan were a little surprised by their leader's performance. However, they were 100% obedient when their leader gave the order. The Demon Beast clan was different from humans. The suppression of the Demon Beast bloodline was very great. The leader had the greatest authority in a clan. Although some demon beasts had learned the human etiquette, there was one thing that had not changed. The strong were king. Once a demon beast's strength had reached the first level of the see-through void tier, they could challenge the leader. After defeating the leader, they could become the king of the clan. It was slightly different from the human race. Greetings, Dragon King. The members of the Wendai race knelt in front of Wang Xian respectfully. Kiki, it seems like the poison we refined is quite effective. Ba Qi, who was at the side, looked satisfied when he saw the more than 100 members of the Wendai race behind him. Their faces were pale, and they looked a little drowsy. Wang Xian smiled faintly. Get up. Do you see the Dragon Gate behind us? Charge through it. It's the Dragon King. They looked at their leader and nodded immediately. Then, they moved and flew towards the Dragon Gate. The Dragon Gate was 2,000 meters wide and over 300 meters tall. It looked very impressive. However, all the members of the Wendai clan didn't take it seriously. They rushed towards the Dragon Gate. However, when they came to the side of the Dragon Gate, they felt a strong attraction and repulsive force. They suddenly had a feeling that as long as they passed through, it would be like a carp leaping over the Dragon Gate. However, they found it extremely difficult to pass through. The members of the Wendai clan, who looked down on them, looked a little embarrassed. Soon, their eyes began to burn. They had a strong desire in their hearts to rush over. They had to rush over. Come with us. I will teach you the cultivation method later, Wang Xian said to Mao Zixin, and brought him into the Dragon Palace. Mao Zixin followed behind Wang Xian and entered the Dragon Palace. Immediately, he felt a terrifying spiritual energy entering his body. A shocked expression appeared on his face as he stared at the magnificent buildings with his mouth agape. Even though he was a powerhouse at the dimension-sundering realm, this was the first time he had experienced such a powerful paradise. Joining the Dragon Palace and becoming the Dragon King's subordinate is indeed the best choice. His eyes were burning with passion. Prime Minister Gui is in charge of the operation of the entire Dragon Palace. When I'm not around, listen to his arrangements. It's the Dragon King, Wang Xian said to him. Mao Zixin nodded his head heavily. Are your clan good at archery? Do you have bloodline techniques? Prime Minister Gui asked from the side. That's right. Our wind-eyed demon beast clan has bloodline techniques. It can increase our vision by 5 times and allow us to see the flow of the wind clearly. We are best at archery. The supernatural ability that we have awakened is also beneficial to archery. In the Transcendence continent, our wind-eyed archery can be ranked among the top in the Transcendence continent. Mao Zixin said confidently. Archery skills. Not bad. What our Dragon Palace lacks at the moment is long-range attacks. Archers are very important in both attacking and defending the city. Wang Xian nodded his head. Archers were like snipers. Naturally, there was no need to mention the usefulness of a sniper on the battlefield. After practicing the Divine Wind Dragon transformation, the wind-eyed demonic beasts would become even more terrifying. I'm in. Oh my god, is this the Dragon Palace? What terrifying spiritual energy. Thank you, Dragon King. I've leaped through the Dragon Gate and possess the potential to become a divine dragon. I can't feel the upper limit of my bloodline. Haha, this is great, this is great. The excited voices of the wind-eyed demonic beasts could be heard from behind. Wang Xian also revealed a happy smile. The Wind-Eye clan could be considered to have been lured in by Prime Minister Gui's coaxing and threats. In addition to the mysteriousness and intimidation of the Dragon Palace, Mao Zixin had consumed his bloodline. However, this was also a great opportunity for them. In the next few days, apart from attracting the Wind-Eye Demon Beast clan, the migration of the Dragon Palace did not cause too much of a commotion. What made Wang Xian happy was that not only did he manage to subdue the Wind-Eyed Demon Beasts, he also obtained all the treasures of the Wind-Eyed Demon Beasts. There were not many precious treasures, but there was one that made Wang Xian's eyes burn with passion. The bloodline of the Wind-Eyed Demon Beasts. Currently, this bloodline was completely useless to the Wind-Eyed Demon Beasts. However, to Wang Xian, this was a priceless treasure. Buzz! Buzz! Just as Wang Xian was busy dealing with the matters of the Dragon Palace for the past 2 days, a message suddenly came from the communication stone plate. After reading this message, Wang Xian's elated mood turned cold. Zhang Fengying's family was wiped out. Now she was the only one who escaped. Her younger brother, her uncle, and her other relatives were all wiped out by the Ocean Cultivator army. Apart from her information, there was also information about Feng Yuan. Starmoon Kingdom began to counterattack. A kingdom's insightful emptiness realm expert was killed, and a town was occupied. Starmoon Kingdom couldn't just ignore this. Coupled with the enhancement of the array formation of the Dragon Palace, her cultivation speed was simply heaven-defying. Wang Xian relied on the consumption of various elixirs and water tribe to improve rapidly. On the other hand, she only consumed a portion of the elixirs, while the rest relied on her own cultivation. It was extremely perverse. Everyone flew out of the Dragon Palace. Ao Jian led his 10 subordinates to follow beside him while Ao Jian and the rest hid in the surroundings. Now that the Dragon Palace was on the right track, they were scouting out the ferocious and demonic beast races within a radius of 100 miles. They were preparing to devour them bit by bit. With Mao Zixin, an existence at the insightful void level, their future development would be much smoother. When Wang Xian flew out of the ocean, he immediately sensed the gazes hidden in the surroundings. Wang Xian swept his gaze over, and a look of astonishment appeared in his eyes. There are so many spies. They should be investigating the matter of Dragon and Phoenix City. Wang Xian narrowed his eyes slightly. The name of Shanghai town had been changed to Dragon and Phoenix City. Furthermore, someone had established the Dragon and Phoenix Empire here. The general of the Ocean Cultivator army had been killed here. These matters could not be concealed. When news of Donghai City came, it caused a huge commotion. The city lord Lei Feihu was filled with shock. He immediately reported this matter to the king. When Star Moon Kingdom received this news, they were also filled with shock. A general had been beheaded, a town had been taken over, and a dynasty had been established. This was simply going against Star Moon Kingdom. However, they didn't make a move before they had a clear understanding of their opponent's strength. This caused the surroundings of Dragon Phoenix City to be filled with spies from Star Moon Kingdom. A town had been seized, and a general had been killed. This matter couldn't be resolved so easily. A war was inevitable. A bunch of damn fellows. Wang Xian thought of Zhang Fengying's family, and a hint of anger appeared on his face. Kill all the spies of Star Moon Kingdom. It's the Dragon King. Ao Yao's voice was heard, and immediately disappeared from the surroundings. Wang Xian had arrived in Dragon Phoenix City for more than half a month. The city walls of Shanghai town had already been demolished. Dragon Phoenix City needed to be expanded. As the future imperial city, the future imperial capital, Feng Wuan was preparing to expand it wantonly. One could see hundreds of thousands of people transporting stone materials. With the protection of the formation, it didn't matter whether the city walls were there or not. Sir Wang. Hello, Sir Wang. Wang Xian had just flown to the side of Dragon Phoenix City when he heard respectful voices. They looked at Wang Xian, and then looked at Guan Shuqing, and the rest who were beside Wang Xian. Their faces were filled with curiosity. Okay. Wang Xian nodded his head with a smile. His gaze swept across the surroundings. As expected of the Empress, everything is in perfect order. Wang Xian praised in his heart. He flew directly to the location of the mayor's residence. In the future, it would be the Royal Palace and the Imperial Palace. Flying was prohibited in Dragon Phoenix City, even for the city guards. However, to others, Wang Xian was an exception. Even the leader of the city guards, Yan Wenshan, who was at level 2 of the see-through void stage, would not say anything. After all, this young man was a very special case in their eyes. His status could not even be compared to the loyal old servant of the Empress. Furthermore, this city was a gift from him to the Empress. Feng, Sister Feng. Wang Xian, Guan Shuqing, and the rest shouted as they landed in the city lord's mansion. The few girls' voices were filled with joy. Chapter 11:19. Feng Wuan's predicament. In the hall of the city lord's mansion, Feng Wuan sat in the center. Beside her was the dean of the Dragon and Phoenix Academy, Yu Chengzi, the leader of the Dragon and Phoenix City Guards, Yan Wenshan, and the commander of the Dragon and Phoenix Army, Mang Hong. Jin Qinyuan sat on the left and right respectively. Jin Qinyuan was also the mayor of Holy See Town, and his strength was at rank 9. More importantly, the boldness that Jin Qinyuan displayed during the siege of the demon beasts had won the hearts of the people. Now Jin Qinyuan's position was the city lord of Dragon Phoenix City. Although there were still Feng Wuan and 3 insightful Void Realm experts above the city lord, Jin Qinyuan also knew that if the Dragon Phoenix dynasty really became powerful in the future, he would be the city lord of the imperial city. He would also be the founding minister of the Dragon Phoenix dynasty. Feng Wuan, who was discussing the matter of Dragon Phoenix City in the hall, relaxed when she heard the voice from outside. She smiled and walked out. The 4 people in the hall looked at each other and knew who it was. Only that young man could make their queen let go of all her worries. Shuqing Lingxiu Inxian Jia Qingwan. Feng Wuan walked out of the hall, and saw Guan Shuqing and the others. She smiled and went up to them. Sister Fengwan. Guan Shuqing saw her walk out and walked over with an intimate expression. She gave her a hug. Among the group of girls, Guan Shuqing and Fengwan had the best relationship and were also the most intimate. Shuqing, I didn't expect you guys to come so soon. Fengwan grabbed her arm with a face full of affection and sized her up from top to bottom. Where's Qingyue? Fengwan chatted with them warmly one by one, and suddenly found that Lan Qingyue was not here, so she asked curiously. Sister Qingyue took Xiaolan to explore the world alone. Guan Shuqing explained to her. Is that so? Fengwan nodded her head slowly. Among Wang Xian's women, none of them were simple. However, the most mysterious one was Lan Qingyue. Even she could not see Lan Qingyue's potential clearly. Her weak strength gave her a terrifying sense of threat. Sister Fengwan, we brought you many delicious things in beautiful clothes. A few girls took out some gifts from Earth and said to her happily. Thank you, sisters. Let's go to my room. Fengwan nodded. She didn't have the demeanor of a great empress, but was more like an ordinary woman. Oh right, Miss Zhang Fengying is in Jin Liuyan's courtyard. You should go and see her. Fengwan looked at Wang Xian and said suddenly. Okay. Wang Xian nodded. You guys catch up first. I'll go and take a look. Zhang Fengying. Seeing Wang Xian leave in a hurry, Guan Shuqing and the other girls raised their eyebrows and looked at Fengwan. Sister Feng, who is Zhang Fengying? A very beautiful woman with a very hot figure. Fengwan said directly. What? She has a hot figure like Sister Ajaya? Guan Shuqing screamed immediately. Her figure is even hotter than Sister Ajaya's. What's the relationship between Xiao Xian and her? I don't know. When I met Wang Xian, he already knew that beautiful woman. Moreover, their relationship was pretty good. This time, because of Wang Xian, their family was exterminated by the people of Donghai City. This. I knew that he wouldn't change. Pervert this pervert. Shuqing, what you said is wrong. You even scolded us like shit. However, Xiao Xian is the same as a pervert. We'll talk about it when he comes back. Sister Fengwan, let's go. Tell us, what have you been doing for the past 3 years? Wang Xian walked out and heard the angry voices of the girls behind him. He shook his head bitterly. When he arrived at Jin Liuyan's courtyard, he knocked on the door. You're here. Wang Xian, you're here. You're here to see. Jin Liuyan's voice was heard. When she opened the door and saw Wang Xian, her eyes lit up and she asked. Is he inside? Wang Xian nodded his head. He's sitting there. Jin Liuyan pointed at Zhang Fengying, who was sitting in front of the pool in the courtyard, and sighed slightly. She sat there and looked at the small pool in front of her with empty eyes. Compared to when they parted, she looked much more haggard. The aura of a strong woman had completely disappeared, revealing a sense of weakness. I'm sorry, I've implicated your Zhang family. Wang Xian walked over and said slowly. No, it's not your fault. All of a sudden, Zhang Fengying turned around when she saw Wang Xian. She sat on the bench and hugged Wang Xian's body. She couldn't help but cry. Ever since she found out that her family was destroyed, she was in a trance. Her family was destroyed, and she lost all her family members. Now that she saw Wang Xian whom she knew, she couldn't help but cry. I will avenge your family members. I promise we will kill them all. Wang Xian's hands landed gently on her back and patted her gently. Phew, I'm sorry. I need to calm down. Zhang Fengying, who had been sobbing for a few minutes, suddenly stood up and wiped the tears from her eyes. She took a deep breath and walked straight into the room. Fengying, Wang Xian stretched out his hand, but didn't know how to console her. If you have anything to say, you can tell me. If there's anything I can do, tell me. Wang Xian hesitated for more than 10 minutes before walking to the door and speaking to her. However, Zhang Fengying did not respond. Wang Xian was helpless and stayed outside the door for more than 2 hours. I'm staying in the mayor's residence next door. If there's anything you need, come and look for me. I'll look for you tomorrow. The sky gradually turned dark. After saying that, Wang Xian walked out. Jin Luyan watched from the side and didn't say anything. What? Sister Feng Wan, we don't have to be afraid. Come back to the Dragon Palace with us and cultivate for 1 to 2 years. We will definitely beat them up. When Wang Xian arrived at the mayor's residence, he heard Guan Shuqing's voice coming from inside. It's not as simple as you think. The king of Star Moon Kingdom has already broken through to the 4th level of the Void Interpretation stage. The king of Star Moon Kingdom has broken through to the 4th level. There was a mistake earlier, and it has been revised. The stronger we act, the more they will be afraid of us. Feng Wan shook her head and said to them, Did you run into any trouble? At this moment, Wang Xian pushed open the door and entered. He asked Feng Wan. According to the information we received, the general and deputy general of the Star Moon Army have already led the Star Moon Army into East Sea City. They are accompanied by a deputy sect leader of the Sky Moon sect. Feng Wan did not hide anything when she saw Wang Xian enter. Star Moon Army? Sky Moon sect? Wang Xian looked at Feng Wan in confusion and asked her. The Star Moon Army is the strongest army in the Star Moon Kingdom. The leader is the younger brother of the current king, a level 3 see-through void martial artist. The Sky Moon sect is a sect in the Star Moon Kingdom. The deputy sect leader has the strength of a level 2 see-through void martial artist. Feng Wan explained to Wang Xian. Chapter 1120. The army had arrived. On the transcendental continent, not only were there powerful kingdoms and empires, but there were also powerful sects, and divine sects. The Heavenly Moon sect was a powerful sect within the territory of Star Moon Kingdom. The sect was located on the Heavenly Moon Island next to Star Moon Kingdom, and there were 4 to 5 experts at the Profound Void tier within the sect. The sect master of the sect had the strength of a 3rd-level Profound Void tier expert. In the past, although the Heavenly Moon sect was located within the Star Moon Kingdom, because it was located on an island, the Star Moon Kingdom wasn't able to restrict it at all. Because the Star Moon Kingdom was afraid of the strength of the sect master of the Heavenly Moon sect, the two sides had always treated each other as equals. The Heavenly Moon sect had over 20,000 disciples, and most of them were talented disciples recruited from the Star Moon Kingdom's major cities. However, now that the Star Moon Kingdom's king had broken through, it was obvious that he had suppressed the entire Heavenly Moon sect. The vice commander of the Star Moon Army also has the strength of a level 2 Profound Void martial artist, and in addition to the East Sea City's city lord, a level 1 Profound Void martial artist. However, as far as I know, these people are definitely not the only ones who have arrived. Feng Wan said as she slightly frowned. Currently, in Dragon Phoenix City, there were only 4 Profound Void martial artists in addition to her. However, she could not make a move because she wanted to act as a deterrent. Generals versus generals, kings versus kings. If even a king like her came out to fight, her strength would be exposed instantly. Star Moon Kingdom would also understand that the strongest person in this Dragon Phoenix Kingdom was a powerhouse at level 3 of the Insightful Void level. If that was the case, the king of Star Moon Kingdom might fly over directly and destroy this place. Have you thought of a solution? Wang Xian looked at her frowning face and asked worriedly. We still don't know the strength of our opponents. Star Moon Kingdom doesn't know our full strength either, so they will come over to test us. War against war. War against generals. If Star Moon Kingdom has a crushing victory, Star Moon Kingdom will basically be able to test out the strength of Dragon and Phoenix City. Feng Wan spoke one by one. Although Holy Sea Town was only a town, it was not that easy to take it down. If he had chosen East Sea City back then, all the top-notch experts of Star Moon Kingdom would have gathered here by now. There was still room for maneuver after taking down a town. Will the strength of the Star Moon Army be stronger than your subordinates? Wang Xian looked at Feng Wan. Her army of more than 1,000 people was at least a level 7 supernatural realm expert. Although there were fewer people in this army, it was definitely very terrifying. Unless all the elite forces of the Star Moon Kingdom are mobilized, there really aren't any experts with the strength of the Dragon and Phoenix army. A smile appeared on Feng Wan's face. She was very proud of building a powerful army within 2 years. One had to know that a rank 7 transcendent expert could build a pretty good family in a town. A rank 9 transcendent expert would be a peak expert in East Sea City. We'll deal with it when the time comes. Feng Wan shook her head and looked at Guan Shuqing and the others. Sisters, Dragon Phoenix City is still under construction. There's nothing fun about it, but I can bring you to try the delicacies here. Sure, we haven't tried the dishes here yet. The few girls nodded their heads excitedly. Oh right, Xiao Xian. What's up with that beauty, Zhang Fengying? Ajaya suddenly asked Wang Xian. She really wanted to see what that beauty, who was even more popular than her, looked like. This, Wang Xian revealed a bitter expression and told her everything helplessly. A few girls glared at him, but didn't say anything. They walked out together with Feng Wan. Feng Wan changed her appearance so that the citizens of Dragon Phoenix City wouldn't be able to recognize her. After staying in Dragon Phoenix City for 2 days in a row, Wang Xian accompanied Xu Qing and the rest out for a stroll during the day. In the afternoon, he went to visit Zhang Fengying and felt a lot more relaxed. Reporting to Your Majesty, there's news from the front. There's a large group of people heading towards our Dragon Phoenix City. On the morning of the 3rd day, Jin Qinyuan anxiously came to the hall and reported loudly. Are they here? Feng Wan directly stood up with a solemn expression on her face. Have you estimated the strength of the other party? Feng Wan directly walked toward the east gate and said with a gloomy face and cold eyes. The flag of the Star Moon Army has a total of 10,000 people. There are also over 10,000 people in East Sea City, a total of 20,000 people. We don't know exactly how many experts there are, but the Black Fiend battle team of the Star Moon Army is here. We don't know who is the void interpretation expert. Mang Hong and the other 2 lords have already left the city to welcome them. Jin Qinyuan reported with an embarrassed expression. Has the Black Fiend battle team made their move? Feng Wan's face revealed a trace of solemnity. The Star Moon Army had 5 great battle teams, and the strongest one was the Black Fiend battle team. The Black Fiend battle team's mount, the Black Fiend beast, was a type of extremely powerful fierce beast. The weakest one was at least at rank 6 extraordinary, and it was the Star Moon Army's trump card. This time, the Black Fiend battle team was sent out directly. It seemed that the Star Moon Kingdom paid more attention to this Dragon Phoenix Kingdom that had suddenly appeared. Xiao Xian, Sister Feng Wan seems to be in trouble. Guan Shuqing and the rest saw Feng Wan walking out anxiously. They frowned and said to Wang Xian. Wang Xian revealed a contemplative look. Ao Jian, send someone to call the Wind Eye clan over. Also call the Strange Demon clan over. Let the Strange Demon clan hide first, so that they won't be discovered by void interpretation experts. He said to Ao Jian, who was outside. He looked at the few girls and said, let's go and take a look too. All right, if we can help Sister Feng Wan, then help her more. We are her only family. Guan Shuqing and the rest nodded and said to Wang Xian, don't worry, I will help her become the Empress again. Wang Xian revealed a hint of confidence in his eyes. What's going on? The army of Star Moon Kingdom is attacking us. These damn bastards. Bastards, kill them all. They didn't come to rescue us. In such a short period of time, so many soldiers have come. Kill them all. Kill those bastards of Star Moon Kingdom. In Dragon Phoenix City, when the citizens heard that the army of Star Moon Kingdom was attacking them, their faces were filled with rage. One by one, the citizens walked toward the east gate with furious faces. When Wang Xian and the group of women arrived at the east gate, they saw an army rushing towards them from a distance of 3 to 4 kilometers away. In the sky, 5 people were flying in the sky. An old man dressed in yellow armor and holding a long spear was in the middle. On the left and right sides, there were 2 middle-aged men and 2 old men. Each of their eyes were like torches. Their terrifying aura was not concealed at all. A group of 5 people, with thousands of troops and horses, rushed over with an aura that could ride the wind and break the waves. When the people who came to the east gate saw this scene, their faces changed drastically. Feng Yuan did not leave the city. She stared ahead with an expressionless face. Chapter 1121. On a cloud-piercing arrow. Yu Qingzi, Yan Wenshan, and Meng Hong floated in the sky. Below them were more than 1,000 soldiers of the Dragon and Phoenix Legion. The 3 of them stared coldly at the 5 people 3 kilometers away. The more than 1,000 soldiers of the Dragon and Phoenix Legion also stared fixedly at the people of Star Moon Kingdom. I, Xingguang, am the general of the Star Moon Legion. I, Zhu Xiuwei, am the vice general of the Star Moon Army. I am the vice sect master of the Heavenly Moon Sect, the Heavenly Moon Star Brilliance. I am the Heavenly Moon Sect's elder, the Heavenly Moon Sun. I am the city lord Lei Feihu. At this moment, 5 people who were floating in the sky and emitting a terrifying aura 3 kilometers away suddenly spoke. Their voices covered the entire Dragon and Phoenix City, and everyone could hear them clearly. What? The general of the Star Moon Army? Oh my god, it's the general of the Star Moon Kingdom, the Star Moon Army, and the experts of the Heavenly Moon Sect. It's Xingguang. It's him. It's actually Xingguang, a top-notch expert of the Star Moon Kingdom, who once slaughtered 100,000 ferocious beasts by himself. He's incomparably powerful. It can't be. The Star Moon Kingdom actually produced such a terrifying expert. That's in existence at the 3rd level of the Profound Void tier. The Heavenly Moon Sect actually interfered this. When their voices spread throughout the entire Dragon Phoenix City, everyone's bodies stiffened. The names of these few people were like thunder that resounded in everyone's ears. In comparison, their former city lord Lei Feihu had the lowest status amongst this group of people. Especially the name Xingguanghuan. Everyone in Star Moon Kingdom knew of him. He was the general of the Star Moon Army, and he controlled the most powerful army in Star Moon Kingdom. They were also very familiar with the Heavenly Moon Sect, the most powerful sect in Star Moon Kingdom. There were tens of thousands of elite disciples in the sect, and they were extremely powerful. Each and every name caused everyone in Dragon Phoenix City to reveal frightened expressions, and they discussed in fear. This time, all the people were on tenterhooks. After all, the group of people in front of them were a group of legendary figures. In the past, they had only heard of names. Just the name alone was enough to cause them to feel incomparable reverence. Now that they were actually here to attack them, how could they not feel fear and fear? The Dragon Phoenix dynasty dares to occupy the towns of our Star Moon Kingdom and establish a dynasty. They really don't put us in their eyes. Xingguanghong, who was floating in the middle, revealed a cold expression. His gaze stared at Meng Hong, and his eyes flickered with a cold, killing intent. Your Star Moon Kingdom's territory? No. Yu Qingzi, who held a feather fan in his hand, waved the fan in his hand. When the ferocious beasts and demon beasts attacked the city, you gave up on this town. After that, this town also gave up on your Star Moon Kingdom. What about your territory? That's right. When Holy Sea Town was once subjected to a destructive attack, what about Star Moon Kingdom's rescue? What about Star Moon Kingdom's insightful Emptiness Realm experts? Now that we've defended the town and broken away from Star Moon Kingdom, instead insightful Emptiness Realm experts have come to invade us one after another. Haha, what a joke. At the rear, Jin Qinyuan roared loudly. Where were you when we were in despair? Now you're even fucking attacking us. Everyone from Star Moon Kingdom scram. Get out of our place. This is the Dragon Phoenix City that we've defended. Scram. We're not from your Star Moon Kingdom. Scram. Jin Qinyuan's words also stirred up the anger of some of the citizens, and they roared loudly from behind. HMPH, you're too stubborn. Xingguanghuan heard the voice coming from ahead, and his eyes were filled with killing intent. He snorted coldly and said, I'd like to see what kind of strength you have to dare establish a dynasty in our territory. Soldiers of the Star Moon Army, get ready. He raised the long spear in his hand and roared, Yes. It was the soldiers of the Star Moon Army who responded to him. Yes. A cold killing intent resounded in the sky. It could be heard clearly even within a radius of dozens of miles. I'm warning you. Remove the formation and surrender immediately. Otherwise, kill everyone without mercy. Xing Guanghuan roared and warned them. Prepare to face the enemy. However, Meng Hong's cold voice responded to his warning. Good. It seems that all of you have become enemies of Star Moon Kingdom. Xing Guanghuan stared at Meng Hong and gripped the spear in his hand tightly. You dare to kill the general of Star Moon Kingdom and occupy the cities and towns of Star Moon Kingdom. All of you will die. Lei Feihu's eyes similarly flickered with a cold glint as he roared in a low voice. Get out of our Dragon Phoenix Empire's territory. Otherwise kill. Meng Hong did not show any signs of weakness as he glared at them and roared with killing intent. Kill. Below, the Dragon Phoenix Army's 1,000+ people did not show any signs of weakness in the face of 20,000 enemies as they roared loudly. At this instant, the 1,000+ people instantly unleashed their full strength. At the lowest level of Transcendent Level 7, there were more than 20 half-step void interpretation experts, and more than 100 Transcendent Level 9 experts. The moment this aura burst out, it slightly shocked the Star Moon Army. Even the pupils of Xing Guang and the 5 powerful void interpretation experts in the sky slightly constricted. There are more than 20 half-step void interpretation experts, and there are more than 100 Transcendent Level 9 experts. Lei Feihu's eyes widened, revealing a hint of shock. Where did they come from? How can there be so many top-notch experts? Xing Guangheng's expression slowly sank. More than 20 half-step void interpretation experts, and more than 100 ranked 9 transcendents. Fortunately, the Heavenly Moon Sect's core force came this time. Otherwise, they wouldn't be their match. As he spoke, he looked at the 2 elders on the left. I also didn't expect that we, the Heavenly Moon Soul Chaser, would be needed. The 2 elders frowned slightly. The Heavenly Moon Sect had been forcefully taken over by the Star Moon Kingdom a few months ago and became a subsidiary sect. In fact, the Heavenly Moon Sect had existed for a longer time than the Star Moon Kingdom. The Heavenly Moon Sect had existed for more than 3,000 years. At that time, the sect master of the Heavenly Moon Sect had the terrifying strength of a rank 6 profound void martial artist. However, after the death of the old sect master, the Heavenly Moon Sect had declined somewhat. Today, it had actually been taken over by the Star Moon Kingdom. However, they had no other way. The current Star Moon Kingdom was not something their Heavenly Moon Sect could contend against. This time, they followed the orders of the Star Moon King and brought the core strength of the Star Moon Sect, the Heavenly Moon Soul Chaser. The Heavenly Moon Soul Chaser had a total of 500 people. The strongest people in the entire Heavenly Moon Sect had all joined the Heavenly Moon Soul Chaser. Of the 500 people, the weakest was at rank 6 Transcendent, the strongest was at half-step Profound Void stage, and there were 11 people at half-step Profound Void stage. Although there weren't more than 100 rank 9 Transcendents, there were still more than 40 people. This was all the power that the Heavenly Moon Sect possessed back then, when they weren't restricted by the Star Moon Kingdom. It was also the heritage left behind by the Heavenly Moon Sect after 3,000 years of inheritance. Chapter 1122. Inside a Cloud-Piercing Arrow. With the power of the Heavenly Moon Soul Chaser, the Black Fiend battle team of the Star Moon Army, and the soldiers of the Ocean Cultivator Army, we can deal with this group of people. Xing Guang's eyes flickered as he stared at the 1,000+ people of the Dragon and Phoenix Army. The strength of these 1,000+ people was already comparable to the strongest army in Star Moon Kingdom, and was even slightly stronger. This time, if it wasn't for the Heavenly Moon Sect's presence, they really didn't have the slightest bit of confidence. It's also fortunate that His Highness is wise enough to send our Star Moon Army's Black Fiend battle team. Standing beside Xing Guang, the Star Moon Army's deputy commander, Zhu Xiuwei, who held a red staff in his hand, slightly narrowed his eyes as he spoke indifferently. The Black Fiend battle team was the strongest battle team in Starmoon Kingdom's strongest army, the Starmoon Army. It could be said that the Black Fiend battle team was the strongest battle team in the entire Starmoon Kingdom. Only the cream of the crop in the army had the qualifications to enter this battle team. The battle team had a total of 2,000 people, but there were dozens of extraordinary 9th rank experts among them. There were even quite a number of half-step void interpretation experts. One should never underestimate the strength of a kingdom. With thousands of years of foundation and hundreds of millions of citizens, the possibility of nurturing dozens of extraordinary 9th rank experts was still very high. This was especially so for some kingdoms. In order to nurture elite warriors, they would nurture bloodline warriors. For example, the half-step void interpretation bloodline that Wang Xian sold last time. After a kingdom purchased it, they would nurture such bloodline warriors. With the support of the kingdom, it was possible to nurture dozens of half-step void interpretation warriors. The captain of the Black Fiend battle team was an expert with the Black Fiend beast bloodline. His bloodline level had reached the peak. The ferocious beasts under him were also at the half-step void interpretation level. When combined with the Black Fiend beast, their strength was extremely terrifying. This was also one of the reasons why Feng Wuan's expression was grave when she heard the Black Fiend battle team. Starmoon Kingdom's warriors, kill this group of intruders for me. Kill this group of traitors. Zhu Xiuwei raised the staff in his hand and gave an order. Kill. Roar, roar, roar. An angry roar and the roar of a fierce beast. In the middle of the two soldiers, a group of 2,000 soldiers who were emitting a terrifying aura were clad in black armor. The armor covered their entire bodies, leaving only a pair of cold eyes. Beneath them was a 3 to 4 meter long beast. The beast was also completely black, even its eyes were black. They had 2 huge fangs, and their limbs were covered with dense spikes. Boom, boom, boom. The order to attack had been given, and the beast began to roar. Kill. The 20,000 soldiers at the back, ranging from Transcendent Level 4 to half-step void interpretation, charged forward in a frenzy. The advantage in numbers and the earth-shattering roars caused the entire Dragon and Phoenix City to tremble. They are going to fight together. There are too many of them. Damn it, are they going to fight with me? Kill them. Some of the citizens in the formation of Dragon and Phoenix City revealed furious expressions. Some of them even charged out with furious expressions. Can we deal with them? At this moment, Wang Xian saw Feng Wuan who was standing in front of him. He walked over and asked in a deep voice. Yes. Feng Wuan looked at the 20,000 enemies who were charging over. A faint smile appeared on her face. As long as Starmoon Kingdom does not deploy all their forces, we can deal with them. Mang Hong and the rest can also deal with the 5 insightful emptiness realm experts. That's good. Wang Xian nodded his head. Whoosh. At this moment, a voice that Wang Xian was familiar with came through the formation and charged towards the battlefield outside. Wang Xian was stunned for a moment before he frowned. Ao Jian, you guys go and protect her. The other 5 strange demons are also following by her side. Wang Xian said immediately. Hearing his anxious voice, Feng Wuan, Guan Shuqing, and the other girls looked at the figure who was charging towards the battlefield. They were slightly enlightened and glared at Wang Xian. With just you people, you still want to destroy our Dragon Phoenix Empire? Dream on. Face the enemy. Mang Hong roared. Kill. The more than 1,000 soldiers of the Dragon Phoenix army also started to move. Even if it was 1,000 against 20,000, they did not show any signs of weakness. They did not even lose in terms of imposing manner. In the sky, the 5 insightful emptiness realm experts from Starmoon Kingdom fixed their eyes on Mang Hong and the other 2. Mang Hong and the other 2 did not show any signs of weakness. They gripped the weapons in their hands tightly, ready to fight at any moment. Soldiers versus soldiers. Generals versus generals. In the face of an overwhelming power, no one dared to act rashly. General Xing, There's no need for us to act in a hurry. Today, we'll let everyone see the Heavenly Moon Soul Chaser that can match up to you. The Heavenly Moon Sect's Vice Sect Master, Tianyu Xinghua, revealed a faint smile on his face as he spoke to Xing Guanghan. Tianyu chases the soul and seeks death, killing enemies thousands of miles away. Today I want to experience it. Xing Guanghan smiled and said, Okay. Tianyu Xinghua revealed a proud expression. Tianyu chases the soul. He shouted softly. At this moment, at the back of the army, there was a group of 500 people. Their clothes did not fit the soldiers in front of them. There was no armor on their bodies, only a green light armor. When Tianyu Xinghua finished speaking, the arms of the 500 people shook. Gorgeous bows and arrows appeared in their hands. The 500 people narrowed their eyes, and a trace of coldness appeared in their eyes. A special metal bow and arrow appeared on the bow. Whoosh! 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 Before the two armies collided, terrifying arrows shot toward the Dragon and Phoenix army. Defend! The deputy commander at the front of the Dragon and Phoenix Legion saw the incoming arrows, and his expression changed slightly. A huge earth shield appeared in front of him. The rest of the people hurriedly defended. Because there were fewer people, the moment they blocked the arrows, the momentum completely disappeared. Ah! Ah! However, at this moment a scream was heard. The expression of the vice leader of the Dragon and Phoenix Legion changed slightly. Mang Hong, who was floating in the sky, also had a huge change in expression. He looked down and found that more than 10 people had been hit by arrows and were instantly heavily injured. He stared ahead, and his expression instantly darkened. The 500 people didn't have the slightest expression as they drew their bows again and aimed. Tianyu Soul Chaser! The 500 people shouted at the same time, and 500 terrifying arrows attacked once again. Not good, it's the Heavenly Moon Sect's Heavenly Moon Soul Chaser. Feng Wuan, who was standing at the back, had a huge change in expression. The Heavenly Moon Sect actually used all of their elites. It's the Heavenly Moon Soul Chaser. Oh my god, it's the Heavenly Moon Sect's strongest trump card. Heavenly Moon Soul Chaser. It's the Heavenly Moon Soul Chaser. In the past, Star Moon Kingdom had two large sects, but in the end, the Heavenly Moon Sect was directly destroyed in the battle. At that time, the Heavenly Moon Sect's Heavenly Moon Soul Chaser was famous throughout the world, and even the Star Moon royal family was extremely fearful of it. Within Dragon Phoenix City, when some of the citizens heard their voices, shock appeared on their faces. The Heavenly Moon Soul Chaser, one arrow killing. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.